College against Wisconsin. Enjoy the game.
Colorado College Tiger Hockey starts now with the voice of the Tigers, Jeff Thomas.
It was as advertised. The nation's #1 scorer, Brett Sterling of Colorado College, against the nation's #1 goaltender, Brian Elliott of Wisconsin. In the end, 2 power play goals by the Badgers and 1 even strength offset the Tigers' 2 power play goals in Game 1 of the nation's premier weekend series. It was a gorgeous day in the Rocky Mountain West, but Colorado College cannot let a sunrise and a beautiful sunset get in their way tonight, for their season series with the Wisconsin Badgers has already slipped away, and they're looking for their first win tonight against the Badgers in the 4 that have been played so far this season. Colorado College and Wisconsin, that is the matchup tonight. #1 in the nation against #5, taking place at the Colorado Springs World Arena. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jeff Thomas along with Jim Paradise. Colorado College didn't get it done last night. Wisconsin certainly did.
Well, no doubt. They show why they're the #1 team in the country. They did what they had to do when they came into this building last night.
Keys to this game, there are a lot of them. But mainly it's #1 against #1 in the country. #1 in scoring and #1 in the nets. Brian Elliott for the Wisconsin Badgers against this man, Brett Sterling of Colorado College.
Well, looking at Brett Sterling right there, he's the #1 scorer in the country. He's got to stay out of the penalty box tonight, though. 3 penalties last night, 6 minutes. He can't spend that much time.
And Elliott, of course, was razor sharp last night and stopped all but 2 shots, and both of those were on the power play.
Well, and he's the #1 guy in the country, too. 1.42 goals against, almost 95% save percentage. The guy's unbelievable, but you got to give the guys around him a lot of credit, too. They play well.
Well, there's some other things to think about, and that, of course, is the defense of these 2 teams and the special teams. Colorado College did get some help on the power play. They scored 2 goals. Wisconsin, which is 7th in the league, came up with 2 power play goals. That had to please Mike Eves.
Well, you got to give the special teams battle. Even though both teams had 2 goals, you got to give it to Wisconsin. They did a better job on the special teams.
Of course, though, the best penalty kill in the country surrendered 2 power play goals, so that's a concern for the Badgers tonight.
Well, this Adam Burris, he's a grinder. He's a guy that's going to do whatever it takes out there on the ice. That's why he's the captain of that hockey team. He's a grinder. He's going to do what it takes. He's going to make it happen. He plays with an edge.
And of course, we thought he had a goal last night when all was said and done, but it was taken away from him and given back to Joe Pavelski. Now that leads to some intangibles and the support cast. The #1 line for the Badgers was not terribly productive last night. CC's was, but Colorado College didn't have Marty Sertich at the top of his game.
Well, Marty Sertich struggled a little bit, and I think it was not only just because of his game, but the guys around him. There's been a big change tonight. They're putting Marty Sertich back with Brett Sterling and Joey Crabb. It's going to be extremely different for him tonight. He's going to have the opportunity to have a little better supporting cast tonight.
Well, he won only 11 of 27 faceoffs last night, and that's not Marty Sertich. However, a little birdie by the name of Greg Shepard, the supervisor of WCHA officials, told me they're watching the faceoffs much more closely. Wisconsin was creaking in on that dot before the puck was being dropped.
Well, last night that faceoff, it was a huge key for the Wisconsin Badgers. They were cheating. They were winning the draws, and it led to the puck possession. Anytime you get that puck, you get it back, you get it moving, it's going to help you out. Marty's got to concentrate a little more. If he has to cheat, he's got to do what it takes to win. And he needs his wingers, his line mates to come in and maybe help him out. If he ties them up, they come in, they kick the puck back, then they get the puck possession.
That goes to the depth of Colorado College. They probably have more scorers, pure scorers on their team than Wisconsin, but it's just not showing up on the score sheet.
And it didn't, but tonight we're going to need more from the top guys from both teams.
All right, that's the scene here at the Colorado Springs World Arena. We're back for the opening face-off when we come back from this timeout.
There's an accident in this country every 5 seconds. Allstate thinks that's too often. So they have new rewards to encourage you to drive safely. Now, for each year you go without having one of these, you'll get $100 off your deductible. Introducing Deductible Rewards. It's time to make the world a better place to drive. Let's Allstate stand. Are you in good hands?
ESPNU celebrates Martin Luther King Day with a full slate of HBCU basketball. It all starts at noon with Alcorn State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. The ladies bring it home at 10 with Delaware State versus Maryland Eastern Shore. A day of HBCU hoops, Monday on ESPNU.
all things sports. One button away. Only on mobile ESPN.
Would you intentionally crash your car or submerge it underwater while still inside? This guy does, because he's the crash test human. Break down the science of safety behind the wheel with the one man who'll risk his life to get the answers. Real situations, real danger, real science. Crash Test Human, world premiere, Monday at 10 on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore. Available on Channel 276.
The all-new guide on DirecTV is here. Now with colorful sections geared to what you care about most. Sports, movies, and more. Get On DirecTV magazine for just $2.99 a month. That's 25% off the regular monthly price of $3.99. On DirecTV makes you the ultimate insider with all the buzz on your favorite shows, Hollywood stars, and the latest technologies. On DirecTV. Now just $2.99 a month for the first year. Order now by calling 1-866-591-5556.
Starting lineups have been introduced, Jim Paradise. We've hit all the high points on who has to do what to whom to be successful. Tonight it's time to play. Can Colorado College overcome Wisconsin in your mind?
No, absolutely. I think they felt that last night they were in the hockey game. They were playing against the #1 team in the country. They know that they've got a chance and that they can get back in it and win. Going to get, it's so important to look at both of these staffs and to look at the coaching staffs and the different people, getting a good look at Coach Mike Eves in his 4th season here at Wisconsin. His guys now are playing his systems. These guys are on his system. They play solid. They're not very flashy, but they're great. And then you look on the other end, the #1 winningest coach in Colorado College history in Scott Owens. He's got his guys. You could walk around the locker room this afternoon, the meetings. These guys were intense. He wants to get back at the Wisconsin Badgers tonight, and he's got the team to be able to do it.
He knows that he doesn't have the physical club that Wisconsin has, but he feels he has greater scoring potential. And that's evident in the overall goals that they have scored. They have more than Wisconsin this year, but it's finishing those scoring chances when you have a defense that denies you that they have to deal with in this game tonight and eventually down the road. These two teams could conceivably meet in the Final Five and again in the NCAA tournament.
Well, I think he feels that they need to be 5-on-5 a little more. He talks about his team staying out of the box. The Tigers have to play a little more 5-on-5 hockey. They've got those talented forwards. They got to take advantage of that, get it into that offensive zone, work the puck a little bit, and get to the net a little more. If you're going to beat Brian Elliott, you got to get on top of him. You got to get some more shots and quality shots.
And now it's time for the fastest game in America, the Western Collegiate Hockey Association. We are underway in Colorado Springs. Glad you've joined us tonight on Sports 1240, Adelphia 32 and ESPNU. Centering pass right off the bat by the Tigers to try to give Elliott something to think about in the game's first 20 seconds. And he's able to steer it away just as he did 29 of 31 times last night. Badgers send it in, and Matt Zaba softly rolls it up the right side where it is picked up by Lee Sweat. Dumps it into the Wisconsin end. Surdich in pursuit. Badgers tap it to the corner, picked up by Sterling, playing with Surdich tonight. First time they've been back together since just after Thanksgiving. Puck up along the near side boards. Tigers have it still in the Wisconsin zone. Surdich looks inside, tries to send it down low. It's blocked by the Badger defense and thrown to the blue line where it's picked up by Robbie Earl in front of Brian Salcedo. Earl drops him back into the Wisconsin end, and they send it deep into the Colorado College end, and an icing call on the Wisconsin Badgers. They'll bring it back into the Badgerland zone for a face-off. Both teams making some changes here, Jim.
Well, we're getting a nice look at Brian Elliott, #1 goaltender in the country right now, and he's a different type of goaltender. He stands up. He's a tall kid. He's 6'3", 190+ pounds. He moves very well for a big kid. He stays back in the net a little more, and he makes that big save, that big first save, controls the rebounds very well.
Off the draw, puck goes into the corner to CC, throws it on net, knocked down behind the cage. Badgers pick it up, throw it all the way through the end zone to the far side. Brandon Straub arrives first, but Licari lays a hit. Straub holds his ground, and the Tigers keep it in. Now it's finally punched out. Picked up and backhanded in by the Tigers in front of the Badger bench. Wisconsin to the corner first as Drewicki gets on top of it. He's knocked down by Frischman, still on top of the puck. Kilpatrick tries to dig it out and does. Works back through the corner, tries to bring it towards the point. one of the Tigers. Frischman has lost his stick, so the Badgers get a takeaway. Carlson comes in, high center. Oh, he slips around. Brandon Polic gets a shot that's blocked by Jesse Stokey. Puck goes behind the cage, and the Badgers dig it out, center it out front, and Earl wasn't ready for it. He had Zaba all to himself. Puck drifts behind the cage. Backhanded by Stokey up the near side. Tigers in their home ceremonial gold jerseys tonight. Wisconsin in their usual road wed with the white numerals. Bringing it into the left point. Back to Earl on a give and go from the left point. Robbie's turned aside by Brandon Polic. Now walks up the far wall. Has it tipped away. Tigers break it out. And Joey Crabb fighting through a check, going after it, but he is beaten to it behind the Wisconsin net. Puck comes up the near side. Rolled to neutral ice. Picked up by Jack Hillen. Loses it. And Wisconsin walks in at the right point. Pavelski, who wound up with the game-winning goal last night after several revisions and reviews of the tape, leaves it at the wall where it's sent deep by Jack Skilly. Shot is errant, and the long rebound into the Wisconsin end. Just underway, 3 minutes nearly gone off the clock, and no score here at the Colorado Springs World Arena as the Tigers and Badgers go at it for the very last time during the regular season. Wisconsin won and tied in Madison, and they won last night, and by virtue of that, they have the tiebreaker if anything were to find these two clubs right along shoulder each other at the end of the regular season. One arm pass to the high slot and a drive. Ricochets off Lee Sweat to the corner near side. Tigers pick it up. McCulloch, soft backhander, trying to wrap it around a defender. Misses a breaking Tiger forward. Badgers send it back in. Sweat picks it up, comes in, trying to take advantage of a Badger change. Flips the softie into the near side corner. Battle for it there. Kilpatrick comes up with it in front of Degenhardt. Finds Rao. Rao looks to center. It's tapped away. Degenhardt sends it out. Picked up by Straub, playing center field in the neutral zone. Ahead off the wall to Kilpatrick, right wing. Tries to go to Slatengren. Tapped away nicely by Klubertans into the corner. And then Kilpatrick comes back up with it. Gets a screen from Frischman. Starts to walk to the net. Gets help from Slatengren. And a backhander is knocked down. Knocked down by the goaltender, Elliott. Picked up by the Badgers, and they dump it into the Tiger end. That Zaba slows it up, and now he's going to have to cover up as two Badgers are coming full steam. We're going to take a timeout. We're scoreless at the World Arena. Colorado College nothing, Wisconsin nothing. We'll be right back.
Cheers to the beginning. A chance to carve out a new path. For this time will be different. This is the year we leave our mark. This is the game we play together. This is our season. The colors change, the fires burn, and the possibilities are endless. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
Back to action, and a pair of penalties called while we were away in the commercial break. To the box for Colorado College, Brandon Straub, and for Wisconsin, the Badgers lose Matt Ford, 6'1", 207-pound sophomore, Blackhawk draft choice out of West Hills, California. Coincidental minors. Team will play four aside.
The Tigers taking a little page out of Wisconsin's book from last night, and anytime that somebody gets close to that goaltender, they're going to play the body, make sure they keep him off of Matt Zaba.
Tigers need to pick up the physical pace against Wisconsin, and there's a nice intercept by Jack Hillen in front of a crashing Nick Macari. Tigers pick it up. Sterling sends it deep. Sterling went to the penalty box 3 times last night and missed out on some power play chances, and of course put his team shorthanded as a result. Puck goes behind the net. Badgers pick it up, clear to neutral ice. Lee Sweat hips one Badger off the puck with that patented submarine check, and the puck drifts into the near side corner. Picked up by Brian Salcido. Salcido wheels up ice on the backhand, comes to Lee Sweat in at the left point. Sweat backs off, now fires through traffic using Crabb as a screen. It's wide. Long rebound up the far side, and one of the Badgers goes down trying to clear, and that stops play with 14:50 left in the first period of play. Tigers have a pair of shots on goal, Jim, and the Badgers one. That's a little different start than last night.
Oh, you can see the difference. The Tigers are starting to get in and get on the play. All the talk tonight has been about Brian Elliott getting a nice look at Matt Zaba, and we can talk all you want about Brian Elliott. Yes, he's a tremendous goaltender, but Matt Zaba, maybe his numbers not as good, but boy, I'll tell you, he's one of the top goaltenders in the country too, and one of the reasons the Tigers were in the hockey game last night.
Both goaltenders last night really doing what is necessary to give their team a chance to win. And outstanding performances out of both of them.
Well, you look, I mean, you can stand there and look down from one end to the other and see just two tremendous goaltenders. Maybe a little difference in the style, one a little bigger than the other, but, you know, right now, Brian Elliott, I think getting a little more help in the defensive zone from his team than what Matt Zava does. And Coach Owens talks about how his defensive core has to become a little better.
Puck goes out of play off the faceoff behind Elliott, and you saw Elliott's numbers on the screen just a moment ago if you're watching on ESPNU or Adelphia 32, and saves percentage dropped 1 point. His goals allowed went up 3 points, but that was because the Tigers had two very well-crafted, hard-earned power play goals.
Yeah, and the other amazing thing about this kid is he's seen every minute of hockey that the Wisconsin Badgers had played. I think they pulled him for about 2.5 minutes at the end of one game, but otherwise he's seen every minute of every game.
That is a Badger tradition. It seems like they put the monkey on the back of their goalkeeper and let him ride the whole season. You look at the Dobbin Specks, the Richters, the Pleisingers, all of them down through the years. It's been that sort of format, and you have to credit goaltending coach Bill Howard, a Colorado College graduate, for preparing a goaltender to hold that load, because it is a big one, especially in this league. Puck goes behind the Badger net as the Tigers make a change, and up ice roars the defenseman Piscula into the near side corner. Tigers pick it off there, head back the other way. They've got a 3-on-2 if they're quick about it. In at the left point comes Petrasso, launches. That one deflects off of Olinger into the corner and just misses a crashing forward on the rebound. Badgers clear to neutral ice, walk it up along the far wall, tapped away to Jack Hillen. Down near side to Brandon Straub. Good crowd in the building tonight, despite the fact that the Denver Broncos are on tonight. We'll keep you updated on that game. Scoreless after 1 quarter at Invesco Field at Mile High. Broncos and the Patriots in the divisional playoff. Right here we're scoreless as well. 13:26 left. First quarter, first period of play, as the Tigers park it in the right corner of the end zone, and an icing call. And with 13:19 to go, I'll bring it back into the Tiger end. Tigers fell 9 points behind Wisconsin with the loss last night. It could have been a 5-point differential, a 3-point differential had they won last night. Now they are 7 points off the mark. But the good news for Colorado College is that Denver lost, North Dakota lost, Duluth lost, so those teams immediately behind them didn't gain ground.
Well, with the gap that the Badgers are creating, somebody's got to start beating them one of these nights, because otherwise they're just going to be way too far out of reach. But it's interesting, from the top of the league, pretty tight in the second, third, and fourth. By the bottom, I mean, anybody's, it's anybody's ball game still.
And Scott Owens made a good point of that as we finished our conversation. Lower in the division as Brian Salcido knocks down one of the Badgers from behind, and let's see if this is going to be the major penalty. In the corner, they're going to send Salcido to the penalty box. This didn't go into the wall. The saving grace for avoiding 5-minute major.
Well, I think Brian Salcido right now is holding his breath, because right there,
yeah, that was into the wall.
That's into the wall.
He's
that's
gone.
Close to the wall, and he's gone. Talk about right now breaking down or cracking down on the checking from behind, and right there, no doubt about it. Forward there, I believe it was Dowell, moves his feet a little bit, turns towards the boards, and you just got to pull up. You cannot get yourself into that situation. When you get behind a guy like that, you got to make sure that you control yourself. Right there, he does it, and he's going to have an early night. Important defenseman for the CC
in the country, let alone the WCHA. Now, the Tigers did dress 7 defensemen tonight. Perhaps Scott Owens had a premonition.
It's
in a physical series.
Salcido, and you can put a guy in like Cody Lamb. At least you've got somebody else that can fill that void.
Puck comes to the high slot. Wrist shot on the power play goes in, and that was redirected in the slot, and the Badgers, just like last night, take a 1-0 lead. This one on a power play goal. I believe it will go. The puck. We'll see if Wisconsin 1, Colorado College nothing. Here, 7 minutes and 24.
And it just you got to give Wisconsin very well last night. They deserved the goals they got. Nice tip in the morning skate. Power play, stand out to the net and just work on paying off. But I think the Tigers are going to have to look at changing that penalty kill a little bit, maybe because they cannot afford just to let Wisconsin move it around and throw it to the front of the net, especially with the traffic that they're creating in front.
Well, no goal for Judre, and game winner last night winds up, and the Badgers time. Colorado College, not only are they down 1-0, but on this major penalty, they still have 4 minutes to
goal right now. They're 4-0. I mean, they play so well with the lead, and so many times this year they've had that lead. I mean, the first goal is so important. The Wisconsin Badgers that team getting
13th goal of the season for 7:24, the time of the goal, and a power play 1-0 for the Badgers. Tigers intercepting the near side circle, and Lee Sweat clears it out. Of course, the Tigers last night proved they can come from behind. They did so twice. They couldn't get over the hump of being down. Fell down 2-1. Badgers hiked it to 3-1, and Tigers got within 1 of 3-2, but could not get over the hump in the final 4 minutes. Up top, high center to Kluber. Left point, now right point to Gilbert. Veteran defenseman looks inside, comes up the launch. The rebound behind the cage, shovels it to the right circle. It comes up top, now to the left circle. It drives out of the save. Hillen tries to whack it out, only gets a piece of it, and it's kept in by Gilbert. Through the corner to Dow, past Hillen behind the net, now to the near side to Gilbert. Brings it up top, high center. Kluber tends to the left circle, a one-timer, and goal number 2 on the power play. And this one is rocketed home by Ryan McMurtry, a St. Louis Blues draft pick, 6'2", 208, a senior out of Regina, Saskatchewan. And the Badgers are taking advantage of the Salcido checking from behind penalty, and the Tigers are paying for it in spades.
Well, the Tigers were not able to get the puck out of the zone. Time shot right there. No chance for Matt Zaba to get over there, but they moved. They let the puck do the movement. They're not skating it very much. And an unbelievable one-time shot right there from the offside.
And this game is looking an awful lot like the game in Madison back on the 12th of November when Bucky got off to a 2-0. Were never able to recover. But this game brings sellout building tonight. A few no-shows because of the Broncos. And CC will to bring them back. And Gilbert with the assist, and Gilbert now has factored on both of the power play goals. 2-0 Wisconsin. The power play on the double, and they have goals so far. Tigers pick this one. Now he'll put it up on the left side. Center. In at the right net, launches, he's over the north end of the Colorado Springs World Arena, and play stops as Matt Zaba gets a breather. Badgers have been a minutes of this game.
So far, and you're going to see a lot of pucks with this power play, the way they move it. Tigers doing a little better job getting their sticks in the lanes, and then when they get the puck on their stick, they're able to get it out of the zone, something they have struggled with in the past. Last night on the penalty kill, and tonight at the beginning of the penalty kill.
Judre right point to left point as the Badgers maintain the puck on the power play for another 2 minutes. We understand that ESPNU is experiencing some technical difficulties. The technicians are working on it. We'll have it restored as soon as possible. A drive from the right point by Earl, knocked down, rebound to Tom Gilbert. Power play goal number 3, and the route could conceivably be on here in Colorado Springs. The number 1 3 power play goals. This one at 10 of the first period. 6 seconds. Play.
That fill any position, any spot. Matt Zaba over to that offside again, and Matt Zapp is just unable to get over there. And Tom Gilbert, the defenseman, who slid down on that offside with the goal.
And the Badgers break in again. They still have 1:30 left on this power play. They may be approaching a WCHA record here for goals on a single power play. Gilbert's 6th goal of the season. Earl has his 2nd assist. And the goal and an assist on this power play. Pavelski's 15th. 3 power play goals in the game. At the Colorado Springs World Arena, and Matt Zaba. Unbelievable start for 2.
Take advantage of it. And then they
but Chris Kawano will go into for college junior out of the Aurora area. His parents went to school here. He had significant time in college, but let baptism fire.
then there's no doubt. If you get put into a hockey game in your college career, you'd like to maybe start with something a little different than that.
Over now. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and that'll end it. Bills are going to drop this one, and wait a second. The ball is loose. Fisher's got it, and he's got Walker to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Bills! Listen to this place! Holy moly! What? No! They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The game comes to an end. The Bills lose a heartbreaker.
Guys.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car? Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car? Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
You're here to play basketball my way, and my way is hard. We did not back down, ever!
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You're gonna put the whole program at risk. I gave those kids my word. You want to shut them up and win.
If there was ever more of a mismatch, I don't remember it.
It's not about talent, it's about heart.
You're 24 hours from the biggest game in college basketball.
You gotta take it.
Glory Road. Rated PG, directed by James Gardner.
With the puck deep into the right corner, and it is picked up by Slatengren. He singles himself behind the net and wheels it up on the right wing. Picked up at the right point by Sterling, backhands it down low, and it is slowed up and frozen by Brian Elliott. Stopping play with 6:28 to go in the first period. We need only remind college hockey fans that in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the regional championship for a berth in the Final Four, Frozen Four, I should say, Colorado College fell behind Michigan, which had an awfully good hockey team, 3-0, and rallied to win. So anything is possible with this Colorado College team. Left point to Lamper, who finds himself in the game now. The freshman who was brought in after Brady Greco signed, to Rao and then to Sweat. Up top to Rao. Rao looks inside, now runs to the circle, looks inside again, gonna circle behind the net, brings it up to the left point, kept in by Lamper. Cody goes to the right point. Sweat throws it down low, but it is blocked by Dowell, and Sweat will have to retrieve it at neutral ice. Tigers will have to get back on side. 27 seconds left on the Tigers' first power play chance. Comes to the near side corner. Thrown to neutral ice and beyond, deep into the Tiger end, and Chris Kawano slows it up, and the Tigers will start from ground zero on the WCHA logo behind the Tiger net. Left wing to Rao, ahead to Kilpatrick, has a break on Olinger, gets inside, then overskates the puck. Comes to the near corner, dug out by Rao, back to Kilpatrick, down to McCulloch, gets inside, and the Badgers end the power play, coming out with a break, and Skilly gets one shot, gets the rebound, and it's 5-0. Kawano allows his first of the night. Skilly breaking out of the box as the power play ended. Lead pass, one-on-one with Kawano, 5-0 Wisconsin.
No, we've seen that before. We saw it up in Wisconsin, and that changed the whole face of that hockey game. Obviously a little different here, different situation tonight, but it's so important for that offside guy on the power play. When you are on the power play, you're the offside man. You've got to watch for that guy coming out of the box. You've got to have the communication. You got to let somebody know. There's got to be some verbal communication there. Right there, the defenseman has got his head up, looking into the zone, doesn't know the guy's coming out, and they get a breakaway and a goal. And you can't let number 12, Jack Skilly, come in by himself. 7th of the season for Skilly, 7th assist for Ryan McMurtry. And the Tigers now have a true uphill battle as they are down 5 goals. This one comes at 14:35 of the period. 5 minutes and 25 seconds was left in the period. And the Badgers are in again. They bang it off the side of the net. Tigers with the long rebound. There's a 3-on-2 for them if they're quick about it. They come in at the right point, drop it for Tardy. His one-timer goes over the glass and out of play. We're taking a timeout. 5 minutes left in the first period. Badgers 5, Tigers nothing. This is Tiger Hockey.
Thanks, guys.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car. Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
Five minutes left first period. Wisconsin has outshot Colorado College 12-4. The bulk of that on a power play of 5 minutes for a checking from behind penalty on Brian Salcido. And on the biggest game in the country, the Tigers have found themselves down 5-0 as the puck comes behind their net off the draw.
Well, I mean, with the power that Wisconsin has, you talk about the defensive side of things and how great their goaltender is and everything else, but we're going to get a look at all their goals. A nice tip right there in front. Look how they move the puck. They find that open guy. Nice one-timer. Another one coming from that lower slot. The penalty kill for CC has got to try and react, and you can just see bad coverage on the penalty kill.
And some good bounces as well. And sometimes you have to have that kind of luck to go with your skill. And Wisconsin has built a 5-0 lead out of 4 power play goals and a breakaway. 5-on-5 as a penalty was expiring. Wisconsin works it to neutral ice with 4:38 left. in the first period. It comes into the right corner, dug out by Sweat. He'll roll it up the far side, and Krabs a little slow to get to it, but the Tigers get a break as it ricochets to Sertic. Ahead to Sterling, one man to beat. The wrister is blocked. The second shot at Elliott was a little surprised by that one, but was able to pick it up and freeze it, and then contact in front of the net, and we've got 6 players all near that paint. And right in the middle of it is Scott Stouty and assistant referee Greg Rockenbach, and cooler heads prevail as you get a look at Brandon Straub. Sterling getting in with one of his patented wristers where he tries to either thread it through the legs of a defender or wrap it around him to obscure the goaltender's vision. And then he got another whack at it, and Elliott saw both. And the result is the goose egg is still underneath the Tigers on the scoreboard.
Well, Brett Sterling did that same thing last night, and the shot got through and it crossed right off the crossbar. But I mean, the Wisconsin Badgers, something they did last night was block shots. And you got a guy, Marco Siki, their assistant coach, is one of the best shot blockers that I've ever seen. And they get their bodies in front of it anytime they can.
Puck sent deep into the Tiger end, and Wisconsin has iced it, so they will bring it back into the Badger end for a face-off. Jeff Likens, a Barrington, Illinois junior, 5'11", 181. One of those role-playing defensemen, and really, while there are some stars like Gilbert and Klubertans in that group, all of them play with tremendous continuity amongst one another. As the puck drifts in on Elliott, and he freezes it up for another face-off in the Wisconsin end. Really interchangeable, are they not, all 6 of their regular defensemen?
Well, you look at the whole defensive, all the cores for the teams in WCHA right now, and with some of the guys that have been signed or moved to the next level. I mean, you look at the Wisconsin core, and these guys are good, and they play very well. They cover for each other, and they just do a tremendous job of keeping people away from the net.
Rolled up the right wing, and Earl comes in, goes to the backhand, and Quano lets it slide to the far corner. Kilpatrick waits for it and pays the price with a hit, but he does come up with the puck, goes behind the net, and Robbie Earl's there in front of Weston Tardy to take it away. Tardy was all alone for a moment, but that's the mission of the Badgers, and Earl making that play behind the net is rewarded with a backhanded goal in front of the cage as he walks out of the corner, takes a pass from behind the net, and now it is 6-0 here at the World Arena.
Bad defensive breakdown right there, and then Badgers just outworking. You see the Tigers going in, playing a little man-on-man. Right there, both pucks there, and you get a guy that comes to the front of the net and just able to beat the defenseman to the front and get a stick on it.
Well, this is a clinic, and it all started with a Tiger mistake on the penalties. Scott Owen said his team needed to stay out of the box, and they went to the box for 5 minutes, and the Badgers went to the bank for 4 goals.
And you talk about the top guys in Wisconsin with Robbie Earl and some of these different players. I mean, these guys are stepping up. They have a big, huge first period.
Doug Spencer in the WCHA office had his hands full trying to find a WCHA Offensive Player of the Week, is he not? Can you name 12 forwards?
I think I can.
And put a couple of defensemen as well.
Have you ever been a team named for that one position?
Puck loose behind the CC net. Picked up by Lee Sweat. Throws it into neutral ice where Picasso deflects it into the Badger end. Gilbert's on top of it. Gilbert kisses it off the wall to neutral ice. Tigers overskate it. And up and backhanded deep. Like Tiger Badgers had the first goal last night when he set the pace for the game. Three in the goal, 4 players scrub. Sertic looking for the top 3 and straight transition. Badgers hang on again. Degenhardt working against Sertic, goes down, puck behind it. Badgers dig that out, wrap it around, hits the side of the cage. Straub gets the rebound, pulls it off the glass to Kraft. Joey can't get to it. Badgers send it back in. Picked up by Straub, cross ice to Stokey. Off the right wing and off the wall and deep ice. He was waved off at 2:13 to go in the period. And it goes deep into the Badger end. 2 Tigers in the corner battling for it. Street freezes one out of the wall, and that Sterling takes him down. No foul. Picked up by Sertic. Sertic to the circle, centers out front looking for Hillen, breaking from the high slot, and that's intercepted by Carlson. And then his lead is taken away by Joey Quell. It's a screen from Hillen and Carlson to get into the zone. Tigers have it separated from him at the point. Sterling takes it back, keeps it in. Tigers will not have to get on foul. It goes to the corner. Badgers clear behind their own net, walk up the right wall. Roll it slowly on corner. Chris has to cover it up with 1:36 to go. 5-6 Wisconsin. Back to the World Arena in a moment.
You're here to play basketball my way, and my way is hard. We did not back down, ever!
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You're gonna put the whole program at risk.
I gave those kids my word. You want to shut them up, then win.
If there was ever more of a mismatch, I don't remember.
It's not about talent, it's about heart.
You're 24 hours from the biggest game in college basketball.
You gotta take it!
Glory Road. Rated PG, directed by James Gardner.
Face off, right circle, glove side, Kawano. 1:36 to go first period. If you've just joined us, the rain has stopped momentarily. 6-0 Badgers on Colorado College. To neutral ice it comes. And the Tigers whack it in. To the corner go Likens and Petrasso. Bodies collide. Puck comes behind the cage up the right wall. Badgers will get out. Intercepted in front of the Tiger bench by Lample. Ahead to Petrasso. Works to the slot. Tries to turn it to the corner. Badgers separate him from the puck. Try to clear to the point. Kept in by Polic, who launches wide of the net. Rebound up the far side. Lakari is on top of it. Rolls it ahead, but the Tigers intercept that. In comes Lample, but no help as the Tigers are in a change. And the Badgers pick it up as we hit the final minute of period number 1. Sent deep. Now Wisconsin will change as Straub picks it up. Tries to find Stokey. Jesse's between two red shirts and has to go back the other way to Slattengren in the corner. Aaron's off the wall, but the Badgers have that intercepted to Earl. Centered. Goes right through traffic, including the stick of Gilbert, and the Tigers will break the other way. Frischman coming up ice. Tries to avoid a check and does, but in the process loses the puck, and the Badgers have another clear into the Tiger end, and with this an icing call that will take the puck back into the Wisconsin end with 27 seconds left in period number 1.
Well, if the Tigers are giving themselves any chance of getting on that scoreboard and trying to work their way back into this hockey game, they got to get the puck in deep. Turning it over in the blue lines right there. They got a lucky break that there wasn't actually Robbie Earl sprung for a breakaway. They've got to get the puck in over that red line, get it in the corner, try and create some kind of forecheck and bring it to the front of the net.
Puck comes to neutral ice off the draw. Sweat sends it deep with 20 seconds left in the period. Badgers pick it up, come up the near side to the point. Wisconsin trying to get it out, but the Tigers backhand it in on Sertic to Sterling. He's wide up the far side to the point. Now back behind the net. Badgers clear to the Wisconsin line. Sertic sends it back in, and the puck will fall into the end zone as the horn sounds, ending period number 1. All Badgers 6-0, 4 power play goals. Tigers nothing. We're back to the World Arena in a moment.
Super Bowl 40, Sunday, February 5th on ABC.
It's a big event in the Big East, but this matchup is big for fans all across the country.
Novak on the steal and the basket.
Marquette having already handed UConn a stunning and decisive upset.
And Marquette has upset the #2 team in the country.
Now has a date with another conference foe in the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
No doubt about it.
Both teams are ready for a Big East battle, and the fans are right behind them. Notre Dame at Marquette, Friday at 9, exclusively on ESPNU.
Their first encounter was a thriller. Two gladiators who never backed down, displaying raw power and fierce intensity. Now, 3-time world champion Eric Morales and 2-time world champion Manny Pacquiao are ready to do battle again. Morales, Pacquiao 2 in a 12-round championship bout. Saturday, January 21st, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. Live on DirecTV pay-per-view channel 123. Morales, Pacquiao 2, round 13 begins now.
NHL Center Ice is your ticket to get inside the NHL with up to 40 games a week from outside your local area. NHL Center Ice gives you the regular season games and select games from the first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Don't miss the best NHL matchups, great new rules, and the shootout. Tune in for a free preview from January 10th through January 16th, 2006 on channels 764 through 774. Get NHL Center Ice for $109 or 4 payments of $27.25. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or visit directtv.com/NHL.
Welcome back to the Colorado Springs World Arena. That's Prowler on the ice. He is the Tiger mascot, and so far, he's having a pretty good night. But the Colorado College Tigers have been victimized by one big penalty in the first period to Brian Salcido, a checking from behind penalty, a 5-minute major, and Wisconsin capitalized with 4 power play goals in that stretch. They picked up 3 of them in the first 3 minutes of that man advantage, picked up another before the power play expired, then picked up 2 even strength goals after Chris Kawano replaced Matt Zaba in goal. Down to the Badger dressing room we go, and the captain, Adam Burrish. Adam, what a first period. Can you recall something like that in your career at Wisconsin?
No, that's the first time that's happened, especially with the 5-minute power play. Usually you hope to get 1, maybe 2, but to get 4 or however many we got there, that's outstanding.
Well, I know you have tremendous respect for Colorado College, so 6 goals against this team and 4 on the power play has to be a rewarding experience for you.
Well, right. We don't go into the game expecting to score 6 on this team. I know when they lose Brian Salcido, one of their key defensemen, that's tough for them. That's tough for them to recover, being one of the top D-men on their team and in the league. So it was tough for them to recover, and especially he was one of their big penalty killers. We were able to take advantage of that, and then take advantage of them putting in a new goalie, a cold goalie. That's always a tough situation for a goaltender to be put in, and we took advantage of it.
Adam, something I've seen in your team in the 2 games at Madison and in last night's game in particular, you seem to be 18 skaters skating as one. I don't see anybody struggling. I see everybody on the same page. I see 110% commitment. Has this even been a surprise to you with the commitment your club has made to the game this year?
Well, being in my senior year, this is honestly the closest group of guys that I've ever been around. I mean, everybody gets along, and we have fun together. Like, you know, before the game, guys are joking around, guys are having fun. We love coming to the rink together. And then when you have that kind of atmosphere in the dressing room, that translates into playing real well on the ice, and that's something that we've been fortunate to have this year. Is every day we come on the ice every weekend, we're excited, we're excited to be together, and we have fun out there, and that translates again into a good performance usually on the weekends.
Adam, finally, I want to talk about Grand Rapids, Michigan for a moment. I know that was a very rough weekend for your club. You went in with high hopes. You had played Michigan and Michigan State prior in the College Hockey Classic in your junior year, and I think you felt you had a good chance of advancing to the Frozen Four. It was not to be. How much of what is going on right now has been a refocus and a rededication of your club and your teammates to what happened in Grand Rapids last March?
Well, that's been a huge point of emphasis over the summer. Is we want to get to the Frozen Four this year. That's somewhere we feel we can be. And we felt we were embarrassed by Michigan last year. My sophomore year, we beat them. My junior year, we beat them in the holiday tournament, and then we go into the regionals there, and we got embarrassed. I mean, they beat us up all over the ice. You know, they outworked us, they outbattled us, and we were embarrassed. And that was part of our emphasis this offseason, was let's work our tails off here. Let's see if we can get ourselves to the Frozen Four just based on hard work and effort.
All right, Adam, you're the captain. Get back to your teammates in the dressing room. Thanks for your time.
All right, guys, thanks.
Colorado College trailing in Wisconsin 6-0 here at the World Arena. We will take a timeout. The Tiger Tail and Scott Thowald up next.
ESPNU celebrates Martin Luther King Day with a full slate of HBCU basketball. It all starts at noon with Alcorn State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. The ladies bring it home at 10 with Delaware State versus Maryland Eastern Shore. A day of HBCU hoops, Monday on ESPNU.
College game day for basketball, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. beginning January 21st on ESPN.
Scott? Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
天气预报：今天和星期三将会持续低湿度和晴朗。
只要消费
Houston, means that I'm one day closer to you. I love it, Houston. Houston, means my nation. Well, honey, Houston. Houston.
You all right? Yeah. Just an old football injury. Tore my rotator cuff against the Giants in '88. Yeah. Got to play hurt, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I burnt my tongue on some lentil soup last night. It really hurts.
Be okay to do the show?
Oh, yeah. I'll suck it up.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Back at the World Arena in Colorado Springs on Sports 1240, Adelphia 32 from News 13 and ESPNU. It is 6-0 Wisconsin in Colorado Springs. We're joined by Scott Thalwald, number 10 of the Tigers. He's out for the year. It goes back to Madison, Wisconsin on November the 12th. Scott, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Wish it was under a little better circumstances, but we're going to pick it up here and hopefully get back in this game.
After last night, a 3-2 game, I'm sure you didn't expect a 6-0 after the first period.
You know, not really. That penalty really killed us, and you know, we've been working a lot on the penalty kill today. But you know, we think we're gonna come out, make a few adjustments at this intermission here, and hopefully get back in this game.
Scott hails from Rochester, Minnesota, and he normally would be in uniform, and we're going to get to that part of the story in a moment. But he's had 2 major knee surgeries after a game at Minnesota, and you're going to see his 10th goal of the season a year ago. Scott was really coming on. And on this game, on this night, you thought your season was in great shape.
Yeah, you know, I was getting in a good groove at this point, and line mates and I were playing really well together. The team was playing great. And I know it's just a great feeling, and I guess after that goal was probably one of the low points of my season, which ended it. But, you know, things were going well up to that point.
Well, it was your first goal of this season in your first game back against St. Cloud. Then you went to Madison, Wisconsin, and then this happened. And we're going to show the fans what happened in Madison, Wisconsin. The game was not televised. Nobody was in news coverage, so what you're going to see is Scott Thalwald hit against the wall by Adam Bursch in coach's video. Describe what happened.
Well, basically, with 3-4 seconds left in the game, and the puck was rung around the boards. And I was just trying my best to get to the puck so I could break the puck out and we could finish the game. But before I could make it over the puck, I was hit by Adam Bursch. I didn't see him coming, and in result of that, I tore my ACL.
Mike Eaves made some comments that you weren't prepared for the hit. How do you prepare for a blindside hit, and what did you make of that statement?
Well, you know, I respect Coach Eaves a lot. He's a close personal friend also, but you know, I don't know. You know, I was just looking at the puck, and I didn't expect it, and I don't know how I'm supposed to brace myself. But you know, what's in the past. I'm moving forward. I had a great surgery, and rehab's going well.
Scott, you've talked about it being in the past, and you've been through this before. Now, what do you look at? What are your goals? What is your focus to try and get back into the game?
Well, basically, you know, since I've been through this before, I'm trying to come back even stronger than I was this last time. You know, I know what to expect going in rehab. And basically, you know, I just want to do rehab the best I can, come back with a stronger knee than it was before.
Now, I got to have a little fun with this a little bit. And I was on an airplane last year, and I got a little lecture from a Grandpa Thalwald. So we got to make sure that we recognize him a little bit. That got you up on camera. It's got to be nice to be able to get out here and watch your teammates, but also know that get to see some people back home see on TV.
Yeah, you know, it's a great feeling, and you got the whole family watching and everything. You know, I wish they're out here with me and watching me on the ice, but instead, you know, they get to see me and like to say hi to everyone. But
and silver lining, a redshirt year. You'll get your 2 years back.
Exactly, 2 more years back, and hopefully, you know, have a full season, be back at the beginning of next year, and hopefully have two good more years here at CC.
Well, you may even have a good career as a rehab specialist.
Oh well, you know, that's not something I'm proud of, but yeah, I'm pretty. I know a lot about the knee now.
All right, Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Scott Thalwald, Rochester, Minnesota. We'll take a timeout. Second period on the way. Wisconsin leads Colorado College by a score of 6-0. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Here's to the beginning, a chance to carve out a new path. For this time will be different. This is the year we leave our mark. This is the game we play together. This is our season. The colors change, the fires burn, and the possibilities are endless. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
It's a big event in the Big East, but this matchup is big for fans all across the country.
Novak on the steal and the basket.
Marquette having already handed UConn a stunning and decisive upset.
And Marquette has upset the #2 team in the country.
Now has a date with another conference foe in the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
No doubt about it.
Both teams are ready for a Big East battle, and the fans are right behind them. Notre Dame at Marquette, Friday at 9, exclusively on ESPNU.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme for just $19 a month. Call the number on your screen for a free DVD or video and check it out. Bowflex's Power Rod technology delivers results. Powerful arms, defined legs, a stronger chest, and a toned, sexy core. And owning a Bowflex home gym is so affordable. Great results are easy with a new Extreme. All it takes is one simple workout, 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, to get in the best shape of your life. The Extreme is built so well that we back it with an unrivaled 7-year warranty. And so effective, it comes with Bowflex's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Own the Extreme with no money down and payments of just $19 a month. And when you call right now, we'll give you the leg attachment upgrade free. Call for a free DVD or order your Bowflex Extreme for only $19 a month. And for a limited time, get the leg attachment free.
Welcome back to the World Arena in Colorado Springs, where Wisconsin, after one period of play, has raced off to a 6-0 lead. I don't believe they have been over 4 goals more than 3 times this season, and 6 in the first period. That's a real explosion for Badger fans to savor at the moment.
Well, it was a bad night for the CC Tigers to have the Wisconsin Badgers explode like that. But, I mean, you get that 5-minute major, the way they've been moving the puck on the power play, and the Tigers just weren't, you know, you get that first one, you get that second one, then you're starting to second-guess yourself, and that's when you really get yourself in trouble, and you could see that on the penalty kill. The guys were out of position, weren't very aggressive, just kind of staring around looking, and the Badgers took major advantage of that.
Well, sometimes even the call of a checking from behind, knowing your top-scoring defenseman is now through for the night, is an emotional and psychological blow, and you just got to put that behind you somehow and go back to work.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got a lot more guys on that bench, and you can't let it affect you. I mean, it's going to happen. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. You got to jump back. But I mean, it's just unbelievable the way they took advantage of that power play, the way they moved the puck, and the Tigers. You know, I mean, we got 2 periods left. You can't go home. I mean, they've got to come back out and play some hockey. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Tigers come out and respond.
It could be the 3rd time that Wisconsin has come in here and swept. They won the first 2 games this building ever had back in 1998. We're going to take a look at the highlights of the goals that were scored by Wisconsin. I hope we have enough time. 6 goals.
Well, you can just
before
see
this period starts.
The way they move it and the way they just throw it to the net. That's what they were getting successful with the last night. Right there, a nice one-time shot. Unbelievable. Goaltender, just no chance right there. He moved the puck across, that big slapper. Again, this one's going to come from that lower hash mark, and you can see the defenseman and the winger trying to get in it late, but just no control of the body, no sticks on anybody, just everybody puck staring, and that hurt.
3 of the top 4 penalty killers, as we see Jack Skilly breaking out of the penalty box and getting the breakaway to make it a 5-0 game, and then Robbie Earl, who was on that World Junior Championship team, scoring there for the 6-0 lead, either graduated, signed, or were hurt. Scott Thorwald was on that top penalty kill unit from last year, so CC has really had that as an Achilles heel this year. There's your score, 15-5. The shots on goal, the Tiger Tail, brought to you by the Wyndham Hotel. Wyndham Hotel, what is your request? Home of the Scott Owens Coaches Show each and every Tuesday night. Saves, well, Wisconsin stopped them all. Elliott's had a terrific weekend. 4 of 8 for Matt Zaba before he retired, and then Chris Kawano had to look at the last 6 and was able to stop 4. Tough night for him to jump in.
Absolutely. I mean, under pressure, but for a guy like Matt Zaba, what do you do? I mean, a coach, you got to get him out of there. You got to give him a break. It'd be interesting to see if they come back with him or not. But Brian Elliott, he hasn't had to make any big saves right now. He's a good goaltender. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but still, I mean, this guy's got to be. You got to get some guys on top of him. You got to, get the pucks to him, get some guys in front of him, and make them make those big key saves and make them come up with a big save on a rebound.
Colorado College trailing Wisconsin by a score of 6-0. CC, a team, one of 4 WCHA teams that found its way to Columbus, Ohio, and returned much of what it sent to Columbus. Save the seniors that graduated, Brady Greco, who signed, and Scott Thorwald, who, as we just mentioned, was injured in that hit at Wisconsin on November the 11th. Fly on the Tigers' wall in the dressing room. Jim Paradise, you've been in games where that has happened before. What do you suspect the captains talked about? What would Scott Owens' words to his team be?
Well, I think it's just, you got to wake up, guys. I mean, we had a bad penalty. They took advantage of it, but there's not much we can do. We got to come out. We got to battle. We are a top team in this country, and we've got to prove that. What do? You can't, like I said, you can't go home. We got 2 periods left. Let's come out and let's try and win this period, and then go from there.
All right, that period is underway. Just 15 seconds in as we pick up Chad Rao going left to right, coming in at the right point, rolling it behind the net, swatted up the near side by Pastula. Tigers send it back to the corner, backhanded by Dowell. Far side behind the net to Gilbert, and then out up the right. wing boards. Brought in at the right point. Tigers with a takeaway there. And then taken right back. Muscle to the point, then back into the corner. Lample overskates it, and Dowell's got it. Rao heads him off. Frees him up for Lample, but then Earl takes it away from Lample in the corner. Wisconsin staying ever the aggressor, and I guess that's key too, Jim, is don't let your opponent up off the deck.
Well, and they're going to come out. I mean, we talk about how many times so far tonight them playing with the lead. They're going to be a good hockey team. But, I mean, they've got that killer instinct. They're going to come out and they want to bury the Tigers. They've got things to prove, and they want everybody in the country to know that why they're #1.
Badgers have it at their own line. Likens rolls it ahead. Run to the corner. Picked up in the circle by Pavelski. Hipped off by Lee Sweat, but not before he delivers. They bring it out front. It's knocked down. Comes to the point. Kept in by Lyken, turns it on net. That hits Kilpatrick in the chest. Lyken goes back behind the cage up the near side, and the Tigers will break. Slatengren puts it into the right corner. Klubertant's looking for it. So is Frischman, and then Slatengren frees it up, but off his stick to Pavelski behind the Badger net. A clearing attempt is knocked down by CC, and then off the shin of Slatengren to neutral ice. Tigers send it back in, and the Tigers are offside. You know what? You can have the same access to game notes that Jim Paradise and I use here when you go to InsideCollegeHockey.com. Get the team rosters, the updates, all the features, insider tips on the game, and a lot more. Just log on to InsideCollegeHockey.com and click on to the ESPNU game notes. And Mike E. does a great job getting us prepared when we work with ESPNU and News 13. That's how we got that stat on the minutes that Wisconsin's been ahead. Puck comes to neutral ice. Tigers send it deep. In fact, Wisconsin has been behind CC for, I believe, only 4 minutes this season. CC scored first on November 11th. The Badgers had an answer and then never trailed that weekend or this weekend. Crab in the corner. To Sertich, back to Joey behind the net. Joey looking out front, tries to center. It ricochets off the net to the near side board, still in the Wisconsin zone. Badgers pick it up behind the net, finding Gilbert. Sertich trying to track him down, but Gilbert sends it to neutral ice and has found Carlson breaking. Hillen catches up with him. Carlson does launch through the paint to the near side corner, kept in by Judre at the point. And then behind the net, it's gobbled up by Sertich. Hobie Baker winner, rolls up ice, throws it to the far side corner. At least 3 Hobie Baker candidates on the ice tonight, and you know, I don't know if you can leave Tom Gilbert out of the mix.
Well, I mean, this is a defenseman, a senior defenseman in Wisconsin has been hot. I mean, he's got 6 points. Actually, he had 5 points in 5 games coming into tonight, and he's got 4 assists already, and 3 assists and 1 goal in tonight's game. So no doubt, as a senior defenseman in the WCHA, going to be a definite candidate for that Hobie Baker award.
Kilpatrick launches, rebound goes behind the net, brought up the near side boards. Sweat goes back to the corner looking for Polic, tipped away. Olinger overskates it. Brunkhorst can't find it. He had a march to the net, although Elliott really has that post sealed off. Elliott has that trust nobody mentality, even though he thought Olinger would go behind the net with it. Penalty is being called here on Wisconsin once they touch up, and the Tigers will go on the power play. 16:20 to go in the second period as Olinger walks to the penalty box. And you'll see the holding right there.
The Tigers are going to get back into this hockey game. This is the kind of hockey they're going to have to play. They're going to have to battle down in the corners. They're going to have to protect that puck, and they're going to have to draw some penalties to try and get that man advantage. Good job by that line, getting the puck in deep, getting in the corner, getting on that forecheck, and making sure that they're that first guy battling, playing the body, and drawing a good penalty.
Tigers on the power play for charity. Brought to you locally by Olson Plumbing and Heating, CNC Sand & Stone, Whitney Electric. First shot by Hillen, blocker stop. Elliott to the corner. Rebound tracked down. Sterling looking behind the net for Sertich. It comes up the far wall to Crab. Joey wheels, looks inside, now comes right towards the circle at Likens, goes behind the net to Sertich. Goes to the side of the net, tapped away in front of Crab by Likens. Joey on 2 knees, hops back up, weaves it around 1 man, and doesn't beat Likens, and now he's got Dowell, and the Badgers have a 2-on-1 shorty break. In comes Dowell, centered, and it's taken off the stick of the Badgers by Aaron Slatengren, taking it away from Ryan McMurchie. Tigers get back to neutral ice. Up to the point, high slot, wrist shot, knocked down before it got to Elliott. The quick stick of Piscula Dowell again, and another 2-on-1 short-handed break. Now 3-on-1. Badgers Dowell, left circle, tries to center, and that's blocked by the Tigers' Jack Hillen. Boy, Wisconsin getting as many scoring chances on this Tiger power play as CC is getting. Up on the right side comes McCulloch, loses an edge, and the Badgers get another takeaway. Boy, if it can go wrong, it goes wrong for CC. Pavelski, right side to the circle, fumbled for a moment by Burish and into the corner. Dug out by Pavelski. He's hipped off the puck by Sweat. McCulloch picks it up, rolls it to the high slot. Kept in, though, by Klubertans. He's got Pavelski 1-on-1 against Rao. Tries to center. It comes high slot. Overskating it is Burish. Overskating it is Pavelski. Whose power play is this? With 14:37 to go in the second period. Rao up the left wing to the left point. Two Tigers converge, and that gives the penalty killers an easy target. Now to the slot. Pushed away and not contained at the point by Colorado College in front of its own bench. Sweat backtracks into his own end. In front of the Tiger bench, it's rolled into the corner. Kilpatrick picks it up. Power play is over. Tigers 0 for 2 on the night. Terrell behind the Badger cage, centered out front. Badgers muscle 2 Tigers away from the cage. Stokey keeps it in, but Wisconsin's Gray takes it away. Comes near side to Likens. Likens flips it through the neutral zone, finds Licari on the break. He'll carry it to the corner in front of Stokey. Hit to the wall, but keeps it despite a size advantage to the Tigers. Now 4 players gravitate between the net and the corner, and the puck is frozen with 13:45 to go. 6-0 Wisconsin. Back to the World Arena in Colorado Springs in just a moment.
About over now. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and that'll end it. Bills are going to drop this one, and wait a second. The ball is loose. Fisher's got it, and he's got Walker to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Bills! Listen to this place! Holy moly! What? No! They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The game comes to an end. The Bills lose a heartbreaker.
6-0 Wisconsin. Second period, World Arena in Colorado Springs. Jeff Thomas along with Jim Paradise. 16-6 the shots on goal in a game that has had just 1 shot on goal by each team in the first 6.5 minutes. Period number 2. Pace slowing down dramatically. Polic gets a break out front, gets it to Petrasso, who launches, and that deflects in traffic. Elliott was somewhat vulnerable that time, Jim.
Well, he's back in his net right there, and Brandon Polic does a good job. He goes wide. He tries to cut back to hard to the net, but again, you got the defensemen and all those forwards just breaking down into that zone and playing good defense for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Hillen scoots it ahead to Petrasso off his skate. He'll track it down with a stick far corner. Goes to center, intercepted by Street, who slides in front of a Tiger forward, pushed back into the Tiger end where Cody Lample pounces on it. Ahead to Slatengren. Slatengren tries to make a skate pass to himself, but Street intercepts, sends it in, and Lample's got another takeaway. Scoots it ahead for Frischman. That deflects away from him, and Elliott gets proactive in front of the Ham Lake Minnesota senior to send it to the corner. Now back to Frischman behind the net, centers it out front. Gilbert fumbles it for a moment, and the Tigers get a chance at the point to keep it alive. Badgers do scoot it out as Dowell sends it in on Chris Kawano in relief of Matt Zaba, who allowed 4 goals on 8 shots in the first period, all of them on the power play. Tigers backhand it to the slot. It bounces all the way through in front of Olinger, and Stokey tries to keep it in, but McMurchie muscles it out. Tigers get back up quickly at the left point to the circle, send it down low. Elliott knocks it away to the near side. Backhanded to neutral ice. Tigers take it away at the red line between the 2 team benches and send it deep. CC in a change as Olinger goes up the far side, sends it deep. Icing is waved off. Kawano was anticipating it, then saw the change. Tigers pick it up, roll it up the left wing, chip it off the wall, intercepted by Likens, who's then hammered by Brunkhorst. Tigers pick it up. Crab to Sertich, back to Crab. Joey breaking through, tries to maintain possession, but it's flipped off his stick by Klubertans, back to the Tiger end. CC pounces on it, tries to clear. Burish keeps it alive. Tries to center it, ricochets away from Earl, and the Tigers hurry back the other way. Long lead to the left wing. Sertich comes in, winds up, takes the slapper, and scores! And the Tigers are finally on the board. 11:32 left in the second period, and Marty Sertich, the captain, starts the long road back of 6 goals down at 6-1.
And a long road it is, but you got to start somewhere right there. Nice job through the neutral zone. You see Joey Kraft with a Joey Crab with a great cross-ice pass. Marty Surdich, he just gets inside that. He doesn't try to beat the defenseman one-on-one. Takes a nice slapper, beats the goaltender down low. Elliott's one of those guys, he's back in the net a little bit more than your average goaltender's angles aren't as good right there. Marty's shooting a nice slap shot low on the ice for his 11th goal of the season.
8:22 into the period, and Surdich gets the goal from Crab, and Joey continues to be hot offensively in either scoring or contributing. Surdich has his 58th career goal, and as Jim pointed out, his 11th of the season. Crab picks up his 49th career assist and 46th of the year, an even strength goal, and it is 6-1.
No, changing that lineup.
We're going to take a timeout with play stop. 6-1 Wisconsin. Back in a moment.
Thanks, guys.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car. Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
.02 left, second period. Wisconsin 6, Colorado College 1. The drought came to an end with Marty Surdich launching from the left circle, and Marty doesn't have the most powerful shot, but when he gets set and can launch, he can be deadly. Out front, the Badgers have it right back as they slap it over the shoulder of Chris Kawano, and this is Ross Carlson for Wisconsin, and CC's momentum is short-lived as 10:50 left, 9:10 in. What is that, 38 seconds, 48 seconds? The Badgers have it right back.
Well, if you look at Wisconsin's lineup, this is a line in Nick Licari, Andrew Judre, and Ross Carlson that can hurt you. They're a big guy. They're a hard-working group of guys, and they may be their third, fourth unit, but right there you can see they do a great job getting the puck in, battle hard, they play the body, and just poor defensive coverage by the CC Tigers. You've got to play man-on-man. You cannot let a guy come out untouched in front of the net right there, and Carlson does a great job. He waits for Kawano to go down, he drops that shoulder, and as soon as he goes down, he goes up and over him.
Licari with an assist, his third of the year. Judre with another assist. And for him, that is his 7th of the year, I believe. And Colorado College, which had sliced that lead down to 5, is now right back down to 6. It's 7-1. It is the most goals surrendered by Colorado College this season, as the faceoff will come to the stick side of Elliott, far side circle. Draw is won by CC up top of the shot. Elliott to stop. Rebound goes to the far side. Olich recovers for CC into the corner. To Brunkhurst, then back to Brandon. Goes back behind the net. Brunkhurst in the corner. Petrasso working with him. Picks it up. Backhands it to Polish. First the skate and then to the wall to pick it up on the stick. Punch free away from him. Badgers pick it up there and will start to head back the other way as we approach the midway point in the game. Contact in front of the Tiger bench, frees up the puck, drifts to neutral ice. Doki overskates it, and here comes Carlson, battling him right to the wall, and a skate pass ahead into the corner, and a takedown by Straub, and Derek Shepard just letting them play. There'll be no call here as it's frozen to the wall. 9:59 to go here in the second period, and the Tigers trailing by a score 7-1. Wisconsin next week gets a visit from two-time defending NCAA champion Denver, as Brett Sterling hops over the wall. He does not have a point tonight. He did have a goal last night. Puck diagonally through the zone into the Wisconsin end, and an icing call on CC as they will bring it back into the Colorado College end for a faceoff. Colorado College, meanwhile, heads to Minneapolis, St. Paul to take on the Gophers, who spanked North Dakota last night. Brett Sterling, one shy of 100. He'll be the 5th Tiger player to hit that mark in the history of the 69 years of this program. And when he scores it, he'll be 11 shy of the all-time goal total of 112 set by Ron Hartwell in the 50s.
Not only doing great things here locally and within the school, but nationally, the national point leader in the country right now.
Run into the near side corner of the Colorado College end by Wisconsin. There's a penalty coming to Wisconsin, and now they touch up. Kawano was oblivious to the fact that his team was about to go up a man, so he did not get off the ice. Tigers couldn't get the extra attacker on, but an elbowing call being made with 9:22 left in the period. And CC will get the man advantage here for the third time tonight, second time in this period. And it is Tom Gilbert going to the box for Wisconsin.
Well, when you're down in a game like this, you got to try and get something out of it. Obviously, you want to work your way back and just try and get back into it somehow. But with the differential you got right now, you got to take some positive things with it and get out of the power play, get some opportunities, and just work on things. Try and get things back together. You know, don't get away from your systems. Don't get away from what you're trying to do. Try and make some things happen.
Up the far side, Tigers send it deep. Now to the corner behind the net, Kilpatrick to Rao on the other side. Rao to the circle, to the end line. Shot once, saved by Elliott, and the rebound backhanded towards the net by McCulloch, and that one is smothered by Elliott as well, as he continues to be red hot this weekend and red hot all year long.
Well, he really is. You get a nice look at it here, how he hangs on. He's so good. He's so big, and he stays right against that post. He doesn't give any space or any idea for that winger coming out of the corner to go short side on him. He holds his ground, and then he makes that big save, and he hangs on to the rebound.
Into the corner. Tigers in possession on the man advantage for another minute 25. Up top to the point to Lample. Lample to high center. The wrist shot, and that one deflects wide of the net. Elliott had a little trouble seeing that one. Picked up by Dowell on the rebound at neutral ice. Gets around Kilpatrick, but then Lee Sweat flicks it off his stick and then has to put on the brakes so as not to run Dowell into the boards after he lost an edge. Boy, it is difficult to put on the brakes in a hurry when you see a player go down, but everybody has so much respect for one another that they don't want to see an injury just because of a lost edge.
Well, and you have to. And we talked about it on that first penalty with Brian Salcidi. You got to control yourself. I mean, it's a game of very physical game, but then you got to control your body. You got to control your actions. Otherwise, somebody ends up getting hurt.
Face-off will come far side circle, short side of Kawano. And Burrish and Sertic square off, and the puck is muscled to neutral ice, out of the reach of Brett Sterling. Badgers send it in. They have another 58 seconds to kill as the Tigers converge behind their own net, and that convergence puts the puck out of play off the stick of Hillen and Slattengren, and they'll start all over again in the Colorado College end.
So you're getting a nice look at Marty Sertic, captain for the CC Tigers, and this is a guy that obviously with things the way they are going tonight is going to be frustrated. But Hobie Baker winner last year, an unbelievable hockey player, and one of those guys that you look to for leadership night in and out.
Wisconsin has gone into North Dakota and swept. They've gone into Minneapolis, St. Paul, and swept at Mariucci. This is nothing new for them, as they are a very committed and very gifted hockey team. Leading 7-1 here. Wraparound attempt comes off the side of the net by Sertic. Sertic retrieves his own rebound, goes in the corner to Crab, then back to Sertic, intercepted by Drewicki. It comes to the circle, pushed to the point, and not kept in by Aaron Slattengren, at least in the mind of assistant referee Greg Rockenbach.
Well, you can see right now how timid the Tigers are. I mean, the puck basically a turnover down there in the corner, and you already got both defensemen, and you got to give some credit because Slattengren is a forward back there on the point, so he's maybe not going to retreat as well as a regular defenseman. But I mean, you got to be sure that puck, you got to try and stay that line. Don't give him that opportunity. I mean, just so close right there. You got to try and hold that line.
Tigers win that draw. And backhanded into the right corner, comes behind the net. Likens gets there ahead of Sertic. And in front of Sterling, and wraps it around Marty. Found a nice avenue along the far wall as Hillen was unable to seal it. And the Tigers will start from scratch. And we'll have a few seconds to set up that power play before Gilbert gets out. Send it into the Badger end. Send it out as Gilbert is breaking, and this time the Tigers have somebody back. And Gilbert doesn't get the same luxury that Skilly had late in the first period for a Badger goal. Centered out front from behind the net. Shot knocked down by Kawano. Rebound tracked down by Judre. Corner to Licari. Licari with a 7-1 Badger lead and 7 minutes and counting left in the second period. Goes to Joudre in the corner. Joudre up the wall, leaves it for Likens. Shovels it behind the net to Licari, and it eludes him to the near side, and CC will pounce on it. Polish, but he turns it over. Going down low is Carlson, gets out front. Knocked down by Collado, and Hillen clears out the rebound and ices the puck with 6:40 left in period number 2. Wisconsin with a commanding 7-1 lead in Colorado Springs. We return in a moment.
You're here to play basketball my way, and my way is hard.
We did not back down ever!
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You're gonna put the whole program at risk.
I gave those kids my word.
You want to shut them up, then win. If there was ever more of a mismatch, I don't remember.
It's not about talent, it's about heart.
You're 24 hours from the biggest game in college basketball.
You gotta take it.
Glory Road. Rated PG, directed by James Gardner.
6 minutes, 40 seconds left, second period. It's been all Wisconsin, 6-0 after 1. Each team has a goal in this period. Tigers broke the shutout with Captain Marty Surdich scoring his 11th of the year. The Wisconsin countered off Ross Carlson, a junior from Duluth, Minnesota. And CC's momentum had the brakes put on it. Badgers come in, launch, blocked by the Tiger defense. Puck loose in the CC end zone. First Frischman, then Straub, then Frischman again, but he turns it over along the wall, and it's picked up by Degenhardt. Degenhardt trying to go behind the net. Straub blocks that and wraps it around Degenhardt up the near side. CC still unable to get on top of it. Oh, Wisconsin working like the lead is won.
Well, I mean, they just keep coming. Every time the Tigers try and do something, it's just I mean, the Badgers are right on top of them. They skate 3 steps and somebody's in their face hitting them. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the competitive nature right now in Wisconsin. I mean, and just that killer instinct that they just keep coming and coming.
They're very talented. They play as though there is one point of reference, one frame of mind. And I'm not going to take anything away from Brian Elliott, although it will seem that these comments do. Regardless of his abilities, a lot of his saves percentage is that he's able to see the puck. The defense just works so hard to keep bodies out and force long shots outside the grade A area, and that makes a goaltender's job so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the other thing is they just clear it out. Once there is that first shot and there is a rebound, somebody's there to clear the puck, so they don't give up those second chances. And a lot of those chances that you look for in grade A opportunities in that area come from rebounds, but those are not there.
And when that kind of help is presented, when the traffic does come, and it will come in the WCHA, you've been relaxed for so long, you can read it and handle it.
And we talk about the coaching staffs, you know, on both sides, and Coach Eves and his staff. They put in systems. This is an unbelievable coached hockey team. Their systems in every zone are perfect.
Jack Hillen tries to launch, but Tom Gilbert is right on top of it and sweeps it out. And Robbie Earl nearly with a break with one Tiger back, couldn't control it. Puck comes behind the net, but Earl is still in a position to make something happen. Finally, Tardy wraps him up. Puck pops free. Earl digs it out, and he's against Tardy again. Centers it out front, knocked down once, and the Tigers survive another Wisconsin charge. Backhanded in deep by Joey Crabb, and he'll retrieve his own pass. He'll circle the net, try to bring it out front. It ricochets off Earl, right back to Crabb. He's got Surdich open in the slot. Marty uncharacteristically fumbles the puck, and then there's a collision in front of the net. Got a dislodging of the goal cage, and I think a penalty being called, and maybe coincidentals. I think the Badgers may wind up with delay a game and the Tigers with a slash.
No, I think it's actually going to go against Robbie Earl for the slash originally. Chris Galano with the heads-up play coming out of the net. Earl's trying to plead his case right now to referee Derek Shepard, but he's saying no doubt about it. It wasn't a hook, it wasn't a hold, it was a slash. 2 minutes get in the box. There's nothing to talk about right now.
Well, the way Sterling was pleading his case before Derek finally put Earl in the box, it looked to me like there might have been a delay of game and a retaliation by Brett. But
I think Brett was just a little whiplash from last night. He found himself pleading his case so many times last night that he felt he had to tonight also.
Well, Brett spent so much time in the penalty box last night that Scott Owens told him to cancel a reservation. So he has not been present there tonight. But at 7-1, it hasn't made much difference. Puck at neutral ice, picked up by Lample for CC, in at the left point. Kilpatrick just missed. Rao crashing from the high slot. McCulloch picks it up. He has found a man open, and this shot goes over the crossbar off the glass. Sent back to the line, and the Tigers unable to keep it in. Sweat will track it down at the own Tiger line and sends it ahead. CC picking it up at neutral ice and now having to go back into its own end in the face of a Badger defense. And now Licari poke checks it away from Kilpatrick. Kawano takes it, sends it up the left wing, and then to Rao. Chad doesn't have the stick down to control it, but he is coming off after his shift. Badgers will pick it up, clear it up the right wing to the corner. Hillen follows him up into the boards, but Pavelski keeps it until Slatengren arrives. Now to Sterling. Pavelski's all over him, frees it up. Poke to neutral ice. Crab picks it up and quickly across to Serdich off his skate and then into the right corner. Puck will go down into the right corner. Picked up by CC. Trailing 7-1. 3:04 to go. Tigers on the power play for another 36 seconds. Up top to Hillen. Wrist shot blocked. And into the corner. A 4-player scrum. Tigers Crab trying to muscle it up the wall, and 3 shirts in red pick it up. Then they turn it over, and Sterling tries to get one up over the shoulder of Elliott. It goes off the crossbar and off the glass. Puck to the corner. Sterling looking for his second of the weekend. Denied with an errant shot. Badgers clear. 10 seconds to go on the Tiger man advantage. 2:32 left in the period. Ahead to Polic. Right wing to Brunkhorst. Brings it in. Goes to the corner. Badgers pick it up. Wheel to neutral ice with 2:19 to go. Tigers on the verge of their 3rd winless weekend of the year. 1 with Denver and 2 with Wisconsin. A team that was once #1 in the country. But it can happen. Look what's happened with Ohio State this year. With Maine, with Boston. Just so much balance. Wrist shot over the crossbar, off the glass to the far side corner. Michigan can talk about it too. It's a long, long year, and so much can happen. 1:50 to go. Tigers at neutral ice. Thrown up the far side and deep into the corner. Drifts behind the net where it is picked up and rolled up the far side boards by Drewicki. Brought in at the right point, sent to the corner. Sweat overskates it, so too does a Badger, and CC comes up with it. Frischman ahead to Slatengren, just off his stick. Gilbert picks it up, tries to go to the high slot of the Tiger end, misfires. Tigers pick it up. In comes Slatengren. His wrist shot goes right into the chest of Elliott. He's got it. Frischman looking for a rebound is pounced on by 3 Badgers. Now another takedown, this one by Olinger of Slatengren, and Slatengren wants a piece of Olinger, and the officials have their hands full with 1:19 to go in the period. 7-1 Wisconsin. We'll come back and sort it all out when we return. Well, a pair of Badgers and a pair of Tigers in the penalty box. Wisconsin finds Joe Piscula and Tom Gilbert in the box. Trevor Frischman and Aaron Slatengren for Colorado College as Adam Burish talks it over with lead official Derek Shepard. There's a good look at Frischman and Slatengren, 2 senior forwards. Obviously frustrated by a weekend where they've not been able to put the thing underneath, over, alongside, anything of
close. Well, you can see the frustration set dead at Trevor Frischman right there, going very hard in that, driving, you know, hoping the puck gets there, looking for a rebound. In the same action, he takes a defenseman from Wisconsin, he runs him into the goaltender, and then the Wisconsin Badgers, you gotta say, once they're in front of their net, they are very strong. They're a big team, they're a strong team. You talk to different guys before tonight's hockey game from the CC Tigers, and that's the one thing that they would bring up is how strong these guys are. So they're not going to let anybody get after their goaltender. They're not, no matter what the score is, they're going to keep battling.
Badgers ice the puck off the faceoff. This game turned in the first 4 minutes and 10 seconds. A scoreless game. Brian Salcedo trying to track down the puck and get the Tigers in transition. Checks Jake Dowell from behind. This is a scoreless game at this point, and you can see the elbow between the shoulder blades. That is definitely in the back, helmet to the wall. There's no doubt Derek Shepard made the right call. And for the Badgers, 4 power play goals later, and then 2 even strength goals later, 6-0. The rout was on in the first period.
Well, and that's the storyline right there. I mean, and that early in the game against a key player in Brian Salcido for the Tigers, and that power play was just on fire. They moved the puck very well. They deserved the goals they got, but the Tigers just weren't able to respond on the penalty kill.
As the Tigers dump it in with less than a minute to play, 50 seconds and counting. Last night, the billing was Sterling versus Elliott. Sterling had a goal, but Elliott had more saves. We expected that to intensify tonight until the Salcido exit. And it has been all Bucky since then. To neutral ice, 30 seconds to go. Badgers 3-on-2 break. Burge winds up, fires. Kawano the save. Rebound to Earl. He fans on it. Collision in front of the net as Burge pays the price from Jack Hillen. Up on the right wing comes Sertich. Parks at the half board. Looks to the point. One-timer by Stokey. Hits traffic and goes to the far side corner with 11 seconds to go in the period. Badgers trying to clear it out and do with 6 seconds to go. Picked up and driven from the neutral zone by Stokey. Knocked down by Elliott. Would not have mattered. The Tigers were offside with 3.2 seconds left in the period. Wisconsin with a 7-1 lead. Colorado College at this moment with only 12 shots on goal. This is the second highest scoring team in the WCHA. Top 10 nationally. Now 13 official shots have been posted for Colorado College. And that's got to be one of the lower moments, shot totals for the Tigers up to this point in the hockey season. And they've had some opportunities on the power play. It's not just 5-on-5. They're just unable to create any odd man rushes, create any drive to the net, create any cycles in the offensive zone. And then on that power play, just you can see the one guy trying to take control of it. They're not moving the puck very well. So it kind of went away from what their systems and what they're supposed to be doing. All right, 2 periods are in the books. Colorado College on the short end of a 7-1 deficit to the top-ranked Badgers. The #1 Badgers have a 6-goal lead heading into the final period of their series.
Scott? Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
ESPNU celebrates Martin Luther King Day with a full slate of HBCU basketball. It all starts at noon with Alcorn State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. The ladies bring it home at 10 with Delaware State versus Maryland Eastern Shore. A day of HBCU hoops, Monday on ESPNU.
The alerts and breaking news you want, only on mobile ESPN.
Ladies and gentlemen. #1 hits like I Walk the Line.
I will let you down.
And his most recent classic, Hurt.
I will make you hurt. When I was just a
The Legend of Johnny Cash, the first and only CD with 21 of his biggest hits from the last 6 decades, just $15.98.
I've been everywhere.
The music, The Man in Black, The Legend of Johnny Cash.
Welcome back to the Colorado Springs World Arena. Wisconsin 7, Colorado College 1 after 2 periods of play. All Badgers, power play goals, 4 of them in the first period. Wisconsin got a nice slap shot out of Marty Sertich to finally get to Elliott, but the momentum stopped right there. when the Badgers countered moments later.
And they just jump right back into it. I mean, every part of their game this whole weekend has been on. I mean, and then the power play stepping up the way they have tonight so far. But you can just see just the determination that they've got, the way they move the puck defensively. They're so sound down there. And then when they do a good job defensively, they move the puck, they make that one pass. Their transition is unbelievable, and they get offensive opportunities out of it.
So Colorado College, as you alluded to, was trying to win it now period by period. Second period looked like they had a shot, but Wisconsin just took it right back from them. That's the mark of a team that just does not quit.
No, and that's the mark of the team that's got something to prove. It was interesting to listen to Adam Burish and to be the beginning of the intermission, actually. He talked about, you know, what the pass and how they were disappointed. They've got goals in that locker room, and they want to, you know, then the Frozen Four is that final goal, and they're going to do everything they possibly can night in and night out to make sure they get to that goal.
We're going to take a look at the numbers that matter. The Tiger Tail brought to you by CNC Sand and Stone locally. CNC Sand and Stone is your one-stop landscape center, whether it's for your home, your business, or your rental property. Stone, statuaries, and firewood in the winter. CNC Sand and Stone is the best you can find. All right, the score. Shots on goal. Wisconsin, a grand total of 22 shots, and they could have had more. Their offense, I'm not going to say that they've totally backed off, but they're being a little more patient, taking a little time off that clock. Colorado College with 14 shots, and Elliott's right there on his saves percentage of 90 plus, almost 95% when all is said and done.
And you've talked about it all night long. He sees the puck and he's going to make the save. He hasn't seen a lot of quality shots. You can see the Tigers with their 14 shots, but they are not quality right now. And Elliott, when he sees the puck, he's going to make the save. Offensively, with the Badgers right now, they had 15 shots in that first period. Not as many, obviously, in the first period. They didn't have as many power plays, obviously. But, I mean, they are slowing it down, but they are just so determined in what they do. They are not going to make any mistakes.
And Wisconsin taking 5 penalties in that period. That's uncharacteristic for them. And that's why those penalty numbers are so much closer together. A timeout, and we've got the commissioner, Bruce McLeod, joining us after we return.
It's a big event in the Big East, but this matchup is big for fans all across the country. Marquette having already handed UConn a stunning and decisive upset.
And Marquette has upset the #2 team in the country.
Now has a date with another conference foe in the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
No doubt about it.
Both teams are ready for a Big East battle, and the fans are right behind them. Notre Dame at Marquette, Friday at 9, exclusively on ESPNU.
天气预报：今天和星期三将会持续低湿度和晴朗的气候。
Houston, leads them one day closer to you.
Honey, Houston. Houston, leads them nation through.
Well, honey, Houston. Houston.
You all right? Yeah. Just an old football injury. Tore my rotator cuff against the Giants in '88. Yeah. Got to play hurt, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I burnt my tongue on some lentil soup last night. It really hurts.
Be okay to do the show?
Oh, yeah. I'll suck it up.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Here's to the beginning, a chance to carve out a new path. For this time will be different. This is the year we leave our mark. This is the game we play together. This is our season. The colors change, the fires burn, and the possibilities are endless. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
Welcome back to the Colorado Springs World Arena. Second intermission. Colorado College trailing Wisconsin. #1 Badgers 7. The #5 rated Tigers 1. We're joined by the commissioner of the WCHA, Bruce McLeod. Thank you, Commissioner. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here, guys.
You've got a number of hats that you wear. One of those, of course, is guiding the Western Collegiate Hockey Association. You've worked very hard with Coach Peters to establish College Hockey America, and now you're working with him and the other commissioners over a sticky issue that we're going to talk about in some detail here, realignment. And before we get into the specifics of it, with the 6 leagues, there are some issues. You've worked very hard to get a 16-team NCAA field. There is a potential risk of dropping back to 12. what is the first step in trying to make sure there are 6 viable conferences?
Well, you know, what's kind of the flashpoint for us right now, as I think most people know, is that, you know, with the Air Force announcing that they're going to leave the CHA, you know, that puts the CHA down to 5 teams. At 5 teams, they have 2 years, actually, to find a 6th team, or else they will lose their AQ. And I think all of us know that that's really, you know, that possibility, that carrot at the end, that's really what keeps the teams together. You know, if they can't come up, looked like there was a couple possibilities this year. Doesn't look like there's anything on the horizon right now. So it looks like, you know, we are going to be down to 5 teams, kind of in a more permanent way in the CHA, and there's all kinds of ramifications for that, Jeff.
And that's what we're going to get into. Just to bring you up to speed, we're going to look at the conference configuration as it stands right now for the 2005-2006 season. There are 6 hockey conferences. 3 of those leagues have 10 teams, but then there are 3 other leagues that have 12, 6, and 8. Now, next year, when the Air Force Academy leaves the CHA, as McLeod has just pointed out to us, the commissioner stating they will go down to 5 teams and could lose their NCAA bid in 2008 as a result. Atlantic Hockey will then have 9 teams, and CHA goes down to 5. Now, this is further complicated by the amount of teams in the other conferences for their playoff picture. The CCHA is grappling with 12 teams. Right. Will probably put 4 on the sideline at the end of the regular season. Right. That takes 4 teams out of the playoff mix to begin with. Doesn't something have to happen to shorten the numbers in one league and heighten and lengthen the numbers in another? Isn't that the bottom line? You know, in a perfect world, yes, Jeff. You know what I mean? I think there are, the commissioner's been grappling with this for a while, kind of in an ad hoc way, nothing official really. A lot of different kind of models floating around. And we're really trying to approach it from a positive standpoint rather than saying, oh my God, we're in a panic type of situation. There's a number of other issues besides the CHA that are kind of a thorn in the side. Examples, you know, up in the northern part of the states of Michigan and Minnesota, etc., those teams don't play on a regular basis. You look at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, kind of sits right in the middle of the WCHA. So there are some other issues. We're trying to kind of look at things kind of from a broad perspective and saying, look, you know, this might be a positive thing, and maybe there's some way we can kind of, you know, bring this all together and take care of a number of problems that we have. All right, the what ifs is what you're referring to, and we've got some graphics that we think will point that out too. There's been some speculation that some teams in the CCHA might be in a position to move into the CHA, and perhaps the independent that is playing now, RIT. And when Air Force goes into the Atlantic Conference, they now have 9. That's a funny playoff scenario for the postseason. Perhaps if Mercyhurst were to think, and we're playing with other people's marbles here, we admit that if they go into CHA, then suddenly it gives you 2 leagues with 8 and 4 with 10, and a much more manageable playoff scenario, because those 4 teams that don't go into the playoffs from the CCHA this year and the CHA teams hung out to dry, how do you recruit to schools that can't go to the playoffs? That's a real tough nut to crack.
It's really a tough nut, and the other thing that, you know, if we have a demise of the CHA, you know, for collegiate hockey in general, Jeff, you know, it's a very, very expensive sport. We have some Title IX issues, male-female things that people are thinking about adding to the sport. And if there's no place for them to go, you know, I think Jimmy can tell you this, trying to play as an independent in Division I hockey right now is virtually impossible. So what we're looking at, you know, not only is some turmoil within what we're going to do right now in the near future, but we're thinking about any kind of growth. It's going to be a tough situation. You know, back to your direct question there is that, yeah, from a theoretical standpoint, when you can get, you know, 10, 12 numbers, those type of things, they work a lot better for you. But, you know, it's really, really difficult to be talking about the prerogatives of an individual institution. Like I said, it's a little easy to talk about it from a theoretical standpoint, but when push comes to shove, because of a lot of tradition that we have in the WCHA, for example, we've been, you know, we have people been playing each other for 50 years, 50 plus years. You know, you start monkeying around with those type of traditions, some people are going to get upset pretty quick, and it's not our prerogative to decide, you know, what institutions do.
But somebody's probably going to have to move. Isn't that the bottom line?
Yeah, you know, it certainly is. You know, if I was a betting man, I would say there probably is going to be some not the kind of massive or rearranging type of things that, you put up on the screen here, Jeff, but probably, something more like, one or two teams will move this way. Hopefully we can work that out. Some of the teams that are in the CHA can be assimilated by a couple of the different leagues, and that way try and work out the kind of balance you're talking about.
Commissioner, I just had the one question I have. I mean, when you talk about all these different scenarios and different things, whose shoulders does it, fall upon to make these decisions? Is it a group of people? Is it one individual?
Yeah, no. Right now, it's the commissioners, the 6 of us, and Joe Bertagna, the Hockey East commissioner, also represents the American Hockey Coaches Association. So that's kind of and it's an unofficial kind of ad hoc group right now, but that's the group that's been taking on the responsibility of short-term and long-term here, what's good for collegiate hockey.
Commissioner Bruce McLeod, thanks for joining us tonight.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, there's a $350,000 offer by the CHA to join. Anybody out there willing? Call Bob Peters. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, this thing is just about over now. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and that'll end it. Bills are going to drop this one, and wait a second. The ball is loose. Fisher's got it, and he's got Walker to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Bills! Listen to this place! Holy moly! What? No! They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The game comes to an end. The Bills lose a heartbreaker.
ESPNU celebrates Martin Luther King Day with a full slate of HBCU basketball. It all starts at noon with Alcorn State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. The ladies bring it home at 10 with Delaware State versus Maryland Eastern Shore. A day of HBCU hoops, Monday on ESPNU.
College game day for basketball, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. beginning January 21st on ESPN.
The clock is ticking down to the biggest television event of the new year.
No!
2 nights.
Who are you? Someone who's not supposed to still be alive.
4 hours.
My son is in there.
I am so sorry that I got you involved in this.
And the first 10 minutes will change everything. 24, the 2-night premiere event begins tomorrow at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Code Red. I'm being pursued. I'm procuring a getaway car. Pronto. I need a car. Now.
Sure, but you'll need insurance.
No problem. I'm going to Esurance. I can buy my policy online instantly.
You're gonna have proof of insurance from Esurance?
Quote, buy, print. Instantly at Esurance. If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your quote at esurance.com today.
The dream matchup, number 1 Wisconsin and number 5 Colorado College. A 3-2 game last night, but a nightmare for Colorado College here tonight in the dream matchup. The highlights, well, the Tigers did get on the board in the second period as Marty Cernich lets fly with the big windup and beats Elliott to cut the gap to 6-1, Jim Paradise. But Wisconsin, they're not letting the Bengals up off the deck.
Well, they throw that 3rd or 4th line out there, and these guys get it in the corner. They just bang, and they come out. And, I mean, just no bodies by the CC Tigers. You can't let a guy come out of the corner. And Carlson comes out. He goes right over the top of the shoulder of Chris Kawano. And Chris actually made some big saves. He had some big saves and controlled his body pretty well for a kid that has not seen a lot of playing time.
7-1 after 2 periods of play. As you look at Brian Elliott, who is going the distance, yeah, just thought that maybe entered Mike Eves' mind at the long season. Do you give Brian Elliott a rest in the 3rd period? Apparently not.
Well, I think he's got his mind set on this individual guy, and why change things? He got it. He's playing well. Why give him that break when he hasn't needed it up to in the first half of the season? No reason to start something different in the second half.
And that is, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, a Wisconsin tradition. Shot by Sterling, knocked down in front of Elliott by Kyle Klubertans, and the Badgers get out. Tigers do get the first shot on net, trying to make something happen here. Badger penetration broken up in the right wing boards, and quickly Wisconsin with a takeaway at neutral ice, sending it in. Burris tries to wrap it around one Tiger, doesn't, but it's kept in by Pavelski. Poke checked away, Sweat cleared out to Brandon Polish, looking for McCulloch. Fans on the pass and then sends it in. Tracked down by Drewicki and rolled up the near side. Punched away by the Tigers, but it comes right back to Davis, and he sends it ahead. Picked up and fired by Pavelski. The save is made by Kawano, and the Tigers will break. McCulloch comes in high center, gets around one man, looks at the net, fans on the shot. Badgers pick it up. Taken away again by CC as Petrasso parks it in the corner. Badgers roll it up the right wing board. Petrasso with an intercept sends it right back in. Janicki on it to the Tiger line and all the way through. It comes off the end boards, bounces off the back of the net. Lample on it for the Carlson up the right wing boards, and Kilpatrick at a full gallop. In at the right point. Right circle. Carries to the corner. Fires. Hits the side of the net. Rebound to Sertic. Marty with the team's only goal of the night for CC. Tries to deliver. Pushed away in front of Brunkhorst. Taken right back though by Kilpatrick. To Lample, who's come down from the point. Threads it through traffic. It comes off the boards near side to J.P. Brunkhorst. Throws it through the end zone up the far side to the right point. Now to the left point to Hillen. Throws it down low. Redirected by Sertic, but wide. Brunkhorst the rebound to Marty in the end zone. Marty wheels out of the corner and will look behind the back to Brunkhorst, camped out behind Elliott in the Badger net. To Kilpatrick. Nice possession by the Tigers here, but they've been unable to generate a real quality scoring chance on it. Kick free, brought out front, drifts to the high slot. Badgers try to clear, and it just drifts off the stick of Weston Tardy to neutral ice. The Duluth senior picks it up and sends it right back in. Tigers make a change as Elliott slows it for Likens. Jeff throws it into the Tiger end where Kawano slows it up, picked up by Tardy. Stokey then up the far side. Cross ice near side to Crab, breaking at the left point, poked off his stick, but Joey pursues it with Olinger to the corner. Olinger plays the body, but Sterling comes up with it, far side wall. Backhands towards the slot, broken up by the Badger defense, cleared to the point, and Wisconsin will get out. Right wing to Degenhardt, diagonal through the zone, far corner, ricochets behind the net. Tardy there first, backhands it up the near wall to Sterling. Plays with it too long, and the Badgers have it still in the CC end. Street in the corner, looking for help for Degenhardt, gets it, wrapped up by Rao, and the Tigers with a takeaway. To neutral ice, to the Badger line, rolled ahead to Sterling from Stokey. Behind the net, Sterling's all by himself as the Tigers are making a change, and he comes up with it, centers it out front, intercepted by Klubertans, and he backhands it out. Lample will skate back into the Tiger end to pick it up, throws it off the wall far side. Klubertans intercepts, sends it deep. 3 minutes, 30 seconds gone in period number 3. Wisconsin still with the 7-1 lead and a 23-14 shots on goal advantage as the Tigers ice the puck. And all 4 members of the penalty box crew exit and return to their respective benches with 3:40 played in period 3. There's Elliott, and what a night he's having again.
Another nice look at a tremendous goaltender, 43-46 tonight. But you know, I would bet after this week, this is going to be a guy that when you start talking about Hobie, you start talking about Brian Elliott. When I say Hobie, I'm talking about the Hobie Baker Award, because this kid has been tremendous to this point in the season.
He's clearly won the showdown matchup with Sterling as well. Getting word that the Denver Broncos have built the lead to 17-6 on New England in the 4th quarter and look to be headed to the AFC Championship game. Puck goes out of play over the glass and into the student section. They'll face off in the Wisconsin end to the stick side of the 6'3", 187-pound Ottawa draft pick Brian Elliott. Not quite 4 minutes gone in period number 3. As we mentioned, the Badgers return to the Kohl Center next week, facing Denver. There have been splits elsewhere in the WCHA. As far as we can tell, North Dakota has rallied to beat Minnesota 4-2. Minnesota State has a sweep, though, with a 7-2 win of Anchorage. And Denver, after a 5-1 loss last night, has a 3-0 lead on St. Cloud as the Tigers' Lee Sweat fires from the slot, and Elliott has it gloved and stopped. We'll take a timeout. Back to the Colorado Springs World Arena in just a moment.
Thanks, guys.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car? Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
Face-off coming near side circle, Wisconsin zone. And Jim, you were mentioning during the break that someone who could take a lot of pride in what's going on in Wisconsin is the goaltender coach Bill Howard, a CC alum, and he said Brian Elliott would be a good one. Boy, he knows his goaltenders.
Well, he's created some great ones. They come out of there last year with Bernd Bruckler and just some individual. And it's interesting because they do play a little different style of goaltending. They're a little more back in the net. They aren't as aggressive, but boy, for some reason they make the saves.
And there's the look of Brett Sterling, frustrated here tonight. You know, those NCAA championships, they seem a long ways off, but they'll be here before you know it. And the ESPN family of networks brings you college hockey's championship series, starting with the selection show on March the 19th. That sets up those NCAA regionals, March the 24th through the 26th on ESPN through ESPN syndication. And then the Frozen Four, April 6th through the 8th in Milwaukee. Badgers break, shot knocked down by Kawano. And of course, if you want all the information on the NCAA Championship Series for ice hockey, log on to ESPN.com. 15:01 to go in this one. Badgers comfortably in front, 7-1. And as they start to work their way towards the Tiger end, a whistle stops play. Hand pass. 23-15, the shots on goal. And really, Jim, here in the third period, we see a little relaxation on the part of the Badgers, primarily because Colorado College, after it had scored that one goal and had it equalized, isn't matching intensity itself.
Well, and the Tigers, you can just see, I mean, they're not getting back in the defensive zone right now. It'd be tough to be a defenseman for the CC Tigers right now, because you go back once that puck's dumped in, and you've got no help. The wingers got to try and help them out a little bit and get down to hopefully help out in that first breakout pass, get out of the zone.
Tigers pick it up behind their own net. Bob and weave up the right wing boards, and in comes McCulloch, pulls the trigger. Oh, that one almost surprised Elliott. It was off the mark. Penalty coming as there is a takedown. Badgers are going to get the first infraction of period 3. Off comes Kawano. Extra attacker on, and as Wisconsin finally touches up, Wisconsin will head to the box, and the Tigers will head to the man advantage with 14:22 left in period number 3.
I think this one's going to go against number 31, Nick Licari, 5 foot, 882 pounds. And we were talking earlier, if this guy's 5'8", I'm about 6'2", and I'm definitely not 6'2", I'm about 5'10". But no matter size or what, this kid plays the game hard. He gets a roughing penalty, comes across the middle, and he gets a good potty check here on, I believe it's Trevor Frischman. You see him come up a little high with the elbows, and for a shorter guy, those are definitely coming up pretty high when you get a guy in Trevor Frischman's who's 6'1".
Colorado College on the power play for charity, trying to earn money from nonprofits when they score with the man up. Sterling takes a whack at it, and it's covered up by Elliott as those two go head-to-head once again. And Sertich in the middle of a skirmish for the rebound and is tied up. Wisconsin, Jim, has not been on the power play since the first period, but they have 4 power play goals on one try.
Well, thankfully that they haven't been on that power play since that first period, because the way it clicked in that first period, it'd be an even longer night for the CC Tigers.
CC took 3 penalties in the first period, only 2 in the second. Did not put the Badgers on the man advantage because they were coincidental minors. Tigers now with a chance to cut it to 5 with 14 minutes left near side to Slattengren, and there's the concentration. Usually able to pick up a pass to create a one-timer or another setup behind the net. Slats doesn't even control it, and 2 Badgers just freeze it to the wall, and it takes 3 Tigers to try to free it up, and now Derek Shepard says it's frozen. And with 1:23 left on the power play clock, they'll face off amidst some words from Sterling and Tom Gilbert, and the Tigers will change up the power play unit. And that's Scott Owens saying need to get a little movement and concentration in there. See if the number 2 unit can make that happen.
These guys last night on the power play actually did make some things happen. You can see them move the puck. They just work hard. They try and move it around a little bit, then they try and throw it to the net and get to the net. So it'd be nice to see these guys just battle and hopefully make something happen.
In the corner to Kilpatrick, up top to Lample, to Sweat, who launches, and that's redirected just wide of Elliott by Trasso, camped out there in the Slaughter, McCulloch rather. Now the Badgers get out. And here comes Earl with Bursch, and it's a 2-on-1. Bursch to the net, shot, save, and just in front of Earl, the Tigers sweep it away. Badgers have not had a shorthanded goal this weekend, but they were deadly close to it there. In comes Kilpatrick, looks to the inside and then thinks better of it and goes through the end zone near side to Chad Rao. Back in the corner to Kilpatrick. He's hemmed in by Likens. Rao comes down to help out. It comes to the point. Backhanded by Lample to Kilpatrick and then to Rao. Rao from the circle goes right in on Elliott. Gets a shot and it's knocked down. McCulloch the rebound. It's knocked down. And Elliott survives a power play challenge. Lample a shot. That ricochets off a defender. Right back to Rao. Rao in the circle and then to the corner. 17 seconds left on the man advantage, and this power play has been aggressive. Sent down low, deflects off McCulloch, and Elliott sees it all and covers up, and now we've got coincidentals coming with Kluber, Tance, and McCulloch to the penalty box with 12:35 to play.
Well, it's just so amazing to me how that penalty kill for Wisconsin is just so patient. I mean, it's just they got that confidence. They know what's going on. They just hang on there. They wait the goaltender. They know their goaltender is going to make the save. You can see right here, Chad Rao comes off the board. He drives hard to the net. Actually doesn't get it all the way over. The Likens, he just kind of flips it off to the side. You know, no real panic, no real rush, and does a good job in clearing the zone.
Equally no panic on the part of Elliott to see the turn in traffic and the redirection. Coincidental penalties will put one Tiger and one Badger in the box. Kluber, Tance for Wisconsin. As Scott Owens contemplates next week and a trip to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and former CC head coach Don Lucia's Gophers. Off the draw, a shot by Petrasso, knocked down by Elliott. Rebound to the Tigers, and then centered and cleared. So the Tigers' power play chance effectively over. Tigers cleared up the right wing boards out of their own end. Kwiecki picks it up, looks for Street. Street doesn't hang on, so Tardy's got an easy takeaway to the far side wall, and the Tigers roll it ahead. Here comes Frischman. Brunkhorst trailing. 5-on-5 play here as it's picked off by Ford. Tigers take it back, and then Ford gets a gift wrap turnover. Comes right side to Degenhart. Degenhart back to Ford. He goes to the left wing, but Street had broken the other way. And Frischman gets a break up the far wall to Petrasso. Petrasso to Straub, and the Tigers are out. But intercepted at center ice. And then in front of the Badger bench by Gilbert. Tom goes to the left side to Piscula. Joe wraps it around Straub and goes in pursuit of his own pass so the Badgers can complete a change. To Carlson, he's out front, fumbles it, had Kawano all to himself, does get a shot off. Kawano the right knee pad save, grabbed the rebound ahead, looking for Sterling. Brett eventually picks it up when Piscula fumbles it, and then Brett gets a softie towards the net. That is knocked down by Elliott. Badgers clear the zone with 11:15 to play. 7-1 lead. Takeaway by Crabb. Crabb is muscled off the puck, and I mean physically removed from it, and the Badgers take it away before Crabb can get started to the Wisconsin end.
Well, on this team, I mean, you just watch it. We talk about how every time CC touches the puck, there's somebody in their face, and that's a prime example right there. Joey Crabb, he tries to make one quick little move. He makes a nice move around one guy, but there's a second guy coming in to help, and they recover so well. They don't get beat, even if there are two guys coming in on somebody. They're always recovering and not getting caught in odd man situations.
10:43 to go as the Badgers get into the Tiger end. Wrist shot is whistled just wide of the net. Rebound up the right wing boards. Picked up and sent by Skilly behind the net. Then a return pass. Tigers pick it off and break the other way. Played on the backhand by Slattengren from Sertic. Comes in at the point. Marty takes it from him. Starts to head to the net. Center shot and a save by Elliott. The rebound is loose off the stick of Kilpatrick. And the Badgers pick it up and clear it and have iced the puck. 7-1 remains our score with 10:12 to play. We're back to Colorado Springs World Arena in a moment.
You're here to play basketball my way, and my way is hard.
We did not back down ever!
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You're gonna put the whole program at risk.
I gave those kids my word.
You want to shut them up, then win. If there was ever more of a mismatch, I don't remember it.
It's not about talent, it's about heart.
You're 24 hours from the biggest game in college basketball.
You gotta take it.
Glory Road. Rated PG, directed by James Gardner.
No scoring here in the third period to date. Wisconsin with a 7-1 lead after the Tigers had cut it to 6-1 early in the second period. Tigers wheeling out of their own zone. In at the right point. Petrasso poke checked away Kluber-Tenz. Derek retrieves, sends it to Frischman, who gets a piece of it, but it trickles just wide of the net. Rebound to the near corner. And the Badgers break. Turn pass Burrish to Earl. Earl leans in, gets a shot. Kawano stops at point blank, but Earl takes the rebound and buries it. And it's an 8-1 Wisconsin lead. Earl is working on the hat trick at 9:43 left, third period.
And this is the difference in what we're seeing. I mean, you go to the other end and you get a shot like that on Wisconsin goaltender. He makes that first save. There's not going to be a second shot. The defenseman is going to lock on, get the stick. But Robbie Earl, one of the better forwards in the country right there. He pulls it, he's moving, he's got great speed, he can skate very well. Comes across, he kind of toe drags a little bit. It's a nice shot and falls up with the rebound. And again, with two CC Tigers standing there staring at him and not getting any sticks.
Burrish picks up his second assist of the night, 8th of the season. And Jeff Likens also picking up an assist. It's his first marker on the score sheet tonight and his 10th assist of the season. One more look at Robbie Earl here, who's a legitimate star in Division I college hockey. Ever alert. What's the old phrase? Stick down, head up, because a rebound might be coming your way.
Well, and Robbie Earl definitely legitimate. You know, it's interesting watching these guys. He's an offensive threat. He skates so well, and I mean, he plays. But the coach Eves and his staff have made these guys very complete players. They play in the defensive zone. He plays on penalty kill. He plays the body. So he's become a more complete player than when he came into this league.
Earl and Pavelski, the top two scorers on this team. Earl number 2, Pavelski number 1, and Earl really has not hurt Colorado College over the years, but tonight he's made them pay. He's had his night as Wisconsin looks to have a 3-win advantage in this building in the series history. Tigers get off a shot. It's blocked before it ever gets to Elliott, and here comes Wisconsin back in again off the stick of Judre. And we got a whistle and contact made, a hooking call going against CC, and the captain will take a rest. And now the Tiger penalty kill is really thin as its leader is in the box with 8:43 to go.
He's one of those guys that are a key guy in that penalty kill, and right there he gets a nice shot, or tries to get the shot on net, and actually tries to turn around and come back. He doesn't move his feet very well. He's kind of reaching out and grabbing, and I believe it was number 27 Carlson moving his feet out of that defensive zone, and he pulls him down.
Colorado College now down 8-1 and having to kill a Badger power play. And up ice comes Tom Gilbert, sends it ahead. Tigers deflect it to the near side boards where Licari picks it up, backhands it behind the net. Lee Sweat is on top of it, fumbles it, picks it up, tries to get it around Gilbert off the glass, and instead he puts it in the seats on the far side. As Colorado College will find the Badgers coming outside the zone. 4 power play goals in this game is a Wisconsin school record.
Well, Mike Eves last night telling us one thing that they would like to get going would be that power play, and I think they move the puck very well. They just haven't been able to you know, capitalize in goals on it, and tonight opening up the floodgates with a school record in 4 goals.
Badgers still in possession at the point, throws it behind the net, picked up by Licari, runs it to the circle. Tigers pick it off, try to clear it, and there's Gilbert with the big paw to keep it in. High center and then to the point to Piscula, back to Gilbert. Tom throws it down to the near side corner. Then to Street in the corner to Licari, up top to Piscula. A little more passive movement with this game not in doubt here. And some new faces working together on this power play as Mike Eves has called off the Dogs, realizing that this game is well in hand. Up top to Piscula, who launches. Kawana knocks it down. Rebound off the glass to the far side boards. Tigers try to tip it out, and they do. And they have a man working towards the net. That's Brunkhurst. Brunkhurst taken away, though, by Piscula. Tries to catch a crashing Tiger, but it's tipped away back into the CCN. CC had some success shorthanded. 3 of them against Michigan and 2 against Michigan State at the Great Lakes Invitational. Tigers pick it up far side wall, and as they do, delay penalty is being called against Wisconsin as Kawano has left the ice. 6:54 left in the game. 8-1 is our score as Carlson goes to the box for Wisconsin. But it was a key penalty in the first period as you watch Brian Salcido make contact with Jake Dowell. Gone for the night, and it turned the power play faucet on big time. A tidal wave of goals, 4 of them in all after that hit by Salcido. Get a look at Carlson in the box now.
Each time we look at that, it gets worse and worse. I mean, no doubt it's a good call by the referee and gave the Badgers that 5-minute power play with the 4 goals that we showed earlier with being a school record. Just difficult to rebound from something like that. And again, you get that first one, it's disappointing. You come back out and then all of a sudden the second one goes in and you start second guessing yourself and things just not going in the right direction and just no hope for the Tigers to get back in it since then.
Face off in the Badger end. Tigers now full strength, and they'll get the power play advantage as Srdych hops out, and the Tigers will work their #1 power play in it. They've got to manufacture some form of momentum and confidence headed to Don Lucia's Gophers in the Twin Cities next week. Centering pass for Crabb and nicely set up, but Joey wasn't ready for it. The Tigers do not get a shot. Racing back is Dowell, and Jack Hillen takes him off the play, and the Tigers will head back the other way. But it is the Badgers who get the best scoring chance out of the Tigers power play in the first 43 seconds. Now Srdych at the point. Going to come near side to Sweat, who winds up, takes the one-timer, and Dowell, or rather Elliott went down, and Sweat saw the upper part of the net, but couldn't hit it. And the Tigers will start from scratch on the long rebound. Up ice comes Crabb. In front of the Wisconsin bench, turned away by Judre. Goes all the way across the ice to Sterling, coming back to Crabb, and Joey had already headed up ice, so Sterling's pass is errant. And Sweat will have to track it down in front of Licari. Lee loses an edge. Gets some help from Srdych. Srdych has it poke checked away by Licari. Sweat picks it up, sends it deep. Comes to the near side corner. There's 32 seconds left on the Tiger man advantage. 5:21 left in the game. Badgers ahead 8-1. We will likely get with both coaches after this game. Given the final flow of the 5:08 that remains, certainly we'll talk to Mike Eaves and get his assessment, and hope to have time to get with Scott Owens as well. And like Lucy, he'll have some splaining to do as the Badgers bring it in. Taken away by Cody Lample, comes to the near side. Tigers with a takeaway on the centering pass. And I suspect his splaining will be this is a pretty good Wisconsin team, and the Tigers made one huge mistake and had to pay for it. Badgers roll it up the left wing as the power play expires. Tigers 0 for 6 unofficially. Here's a shot and another Badger goal beating Kawano, and this time it is Joe Pavelski from Clover, Wisconsin. San Jose Shark draft pick makes it a 9-1 Wisconsin lead.
Assist going right here to Robbie Earl too. Watch this move. I mean, it's just unbelievable how he comes across. He moves his feet very well, but he kind of pulls it through his legs here. He walks around the defenseman. No body contact whatsoever. You got 2 guys basically coming 2-on-3 right here, and just, I mean, if you don't play the body, you're going to get beat, and especially against a kid like that. Then he throws it back. You got 2 guys standing on Pavelski, and he's still able to get a stick on it.
Earl actually fumbled that puck, but the concentration to recover in front of a pretty good player, Trevor Frischman, to center and get Pavelski set up, just as you described it, Jim. Outstanding. Tigers roll it into the near side corner. Another assist for Burish. He has assisted on the last 2. 9th assist for Burish, and we'll be back in just a moment. Artie Surdich will square off with Street in the Wisconsin end with 4:10 left in this one. And we've got a whistle and a penalty off the draw. And we got coincidentals as Derek Shepard will put a pair in the box. Olinger for Wisconsin and Aaron Slattengren for Colorado College. I guess if there's something saving for Colorado College out of this is it was over with early. The emotion was spent early, and the recovery process getting ready for Minnesota next week has long since begun.
Oh, absolutely. I think the recovery process for this one is going to be just throw it out, take the tape, throw it out the window, and start over. I mean, these are the ones you've got to forget about. Obviously, you don't like it happening, and you had an opportunity to start over again. But, I mean, there's not much you can learn for this. You just take it out, start over, and look at going up to Minnesota for a big series next weekend.
Badgers ice the puck, and they'll bring it back into the Wisconsin end for a face-off as Slattengren and one of the Badgers into the box here. 5-on-5 will be the skating roster here as play resumes. Double minors to Aaron Slattengren. Shot fired by the Badgers was over the crossbar and off the glass. Tigers fish out the rebound. Ford working with Surdich, and Kawano gets right in front of Street, who was breaking, and keeps the Tigers from looking at another red lamp here in a game that's already out of hand at 9-1. In comes Ford, gets around Sweat. Lample takes him down. Badgers still have the puck, get a shot at the flex over the crossbar and into the end zone off the stick of Joey Crabb. Tigers whack it up the far side, but do not clear, and it's kept in by Piscula behind the net. Sweat is on top of it, has it taken away by Dowell, and then he loses it in the near side circle to CC's Jack Hillen, who puts Sterling in transition. Brett sends it into the far side corner. Piscula picks it up with 2:55 to go. Battle for the puck continues in the corner. Rolls to the high slot, picked up by Stokey, locks and fires. Shot is blocked by Dowell. Puck to the near side boards, gathered in by Wisconsin, and Jake is going to backhand it into the far side corner. Skilly in front of Stokey, picks it up. Tigers intercept in the near side circle. Carlson sends it behind the net, and Stokey is there while Straub and Dowell go at it, holding one another. And Derek Shepard's going to have to do something about that pretty soon if it continues. Now the two finally separate. Tigers get it out into the Wisconsin end with 2:10 to go. 8-goal lead for Wisconsin. They've been in charge since the 5-minute major to Hermosa Beach Jr., Brian Salcido. Tigers have never recoiled. It's been sent into the Wisconsin end. Badgers clear, picked up by CC, and rolled back into the Wisconsin end with 1:47 to go. Dug out and backhanded to the near side, picked up by Klubertans, sent ahead to Ford, who is breaking against Hillen, gets in, gets the shot, and Kawano knocks it down, but loses sight of the rebound, and it breaks to the circle. Now picked up by Wisconsin, backhanded by Degenhardt. Point blank range, denied by Kawano. And the Tigers clear to the point. Kawano fighting through this difficult night. Jim Paradise, and now gloving a shot from the neutral zone. Play stops with 1:20.
Some great saves by Chris Kawano. I mean, he's just and this people, you got to understand, this is a kid that has not seen a lot of college hockey experience. And some minutes in the Air Force, he's right there. He holds the pipe very well. Gets up, handles the rebound. Again, nice little turnover right here. Comes out, he goes with the poke check, he moves across the net very well, and he makes a nice save with that pad. So some real positive saves and some great things from Chris Kawano. You got to give the kid a lot of credit.
Grimace on Mike Eve's face. You know, with him, it's always 2-1. It isn't 9-1. He is very intense and has been a primary reason why this team has become so disciplined, so focused, and therefore so successful. Coming back to the form Badger fans have waited for a number of years. Puck comes towards the net off the stick of McCulloch, but McCulloch's off his feet. So play will continue with the Badgers taking it away and sending it into the CC end. Kawano gloves it and sets it right back on the ice for Colorado Springs native Brandon Straub, he sends it off the stick of a teammate. Kilpatrick deep into the Wisconsin end. Badgers pick it up with 37 seconds to go. They've won 3 out of 4 from CC. There's been a tie. They get 7 of 8 points. Tigers will drop 9 points off the WCHA pace going into Minneapolis St. Paul next weekend. Denver with the win tonight over St. Cloud has gone over the Tigers into 3rd place. The Tigers will drop to 4th. North Dakota with the win. Now the Sioux are breathing down the Tigers' neck, just 3 points back as the puck comes to neutral ice. And the final 5 seconds about to end with Joey Crabb minus a helmet and being separated from Ryan McMurchie. A stinging loss. 3rd weekend of the year that the Tigers have gone winless. Twice at the hands of Wisconsin and once at the hands of the DU Pioneers.
And it really hurts when you got 5 seconds left in a hockey game. You're going in the corner. You got a guy that's hooking you, giving you an elbow back to the back of the head. But as we've seen in the past, this is a team in Wisconsin. Doesn't matter if there's 20 minutes left on that clock or there's 3 seconds left. They're going to keep coming. And obviously now tonight we see it doesn't matter what the score is. They're going to keep coming no matter what amount of time is left or what the score is.
So McMurchie for Wisconsin and Crabb for Colorado College. As the lights start to go out on this party. Near empty building with the Tigers taking a shellacking here. 6 goals in the first period unanswered by Wisconsin. It's the most the Tigers have surrendered this year. And at the horn, Brandon Straub gets a shot to the chops of Drewski. And it'll be interesting to see what Derek Shepard does about that. Apparently nothing at this point, while the 2 teams will go to the handshakes. 9-1 Wisconsin, 3-2 last night. It's a sweep for Wisconsin. We will take our timeout, return to hear from Mike Eaves, coming back to the World Arena in a moment.
To play professional volleyball, you better be in great shape. To play at age 41, you better be in the best shape of your life. How do I do it? Bowflex.
Introducing the all-new Bowflex Extreme 2. Now you can get great results faster than ever.
I've been an athlete all my life, and nothing works better than Bowflex. I've been on this machine for 6 weeks and packed 12 pounds of muscle onto my frame.
Call right now for your free DVD that tells you all about Bowflex.
I put the Extreme 2 to the test. I got pumped arms, ripped abs, and legs of steel. Let's face the facts, we all get older, but we sure don't have to look it. I'll admit it, I want to look good and perform well at the beach. But if I'm out slamming it with 20-somethings, I need the kind of shape that only comes through strength training with Bowflex.
Change your body in one easy 20-minute workout, done just 3 times a week. The new Bowflex Extreme 2 features a no-cable change pulley system, delivering faster workouts than ever, because you don't have to change cables between exercises.
That cuts down on my workout time, which allows me to do more of the things that I want to do.
If you're serious about losing weight, getting fit, and getting in awesome shape, then check out the new Extreme 2.
To be back playing pro volleyball after leaving the tour over 10 years ago is amazing. If you want real results real fast, you need a real Bowflex. Believe me, there are great advantages to having a Bowflex body.
Call right now for this free DVD or order directly from Bowflex for only $25 a month. Call today or visit them online.
I'm 41 years old, and I'm in the best shape of my life.
Wisconsin and Colorado College finish their regular season series. The Badgers get a win and a tie in Madison and 2 wins here in Colorado Springs. They've now gone into Colorado Springs, Grand Forks, Mariucci, and Minneapolis-St. Paul and not lost. They are 9-0-1 on the road. That is a remarkable start of this season for Wisconsin.
And you wonder why they're #1 team in the country without any question. I mean, you look at the votes there, you got 40 votes each week. And I mean, that's why. I mean, you go into those buildings, you sweep those 3 teams. It's impressive. And you just look at the way they play hockey, and that's why they win. You talk about defense wins championships. We're seeing it here. We saw it here this weekend. That is a very good defensive hockey team.
We go to the numbers. That Tiger Tail brought to you locally in the Colorado Springs area by Arceo's Mexican Restaurant. When you think authentic Mexican food, you think Arceo's. 9-1, 12-3 over the weekend. Colorado College manufactured 5 goals in 4 games against Wisconsin this year. The shots, 33-21. 24 stops for CC. Matt Zabo was gone after 8 shots and 4 power play goals in the first period. Wisconsin took more penalties. CC just backed off almost complete intensity, including attacking the opponent, and that's why they wind up with 10 penalties on the night. But the costly one, 15 minutes worth to Brian Salcido in the game's first period.
Oh, and that hurt. I mean, there was just no getting back after that. And you got it. I mean, that power play was just tremendous. I mean, the way they moved the puck. But you look at the power plays, the Tigers just couldn't get anything going. Offensively, defensively, they were just out of it after that 5-minute power play.
And all their big guns firing strongly tonight. Last night, we talked about in our pregame show how Wisconsin had 9 different players factor on the 3 goals. Tonight, all their big guns were firing. Earl had a pair of goals. Pavelski had a pair of goals. Gilbert was in the mix. Carlson, McMurtry, just go down the roster. Everybody had a piece of this one tonight, and they have looked as they've skated as 1 instead of 18, and tonight a humongous team win for the Badgers.
No doubt about it, and we're getting a great opportunity right now to bring in Coach Eves and just discuss how and what they are doing to make this team so good right now.
And Mike, we talked in our pregame chat for radio about the fact that the way you're playing right now, who can possibly defeat you? You've got to be feeling good about this team.
Well, every weekend brings a new challenge, and especially in our league, it doesn't matter who you seem to play. If you're not ready to play, then you're going to have your hat handed to you. And tonight we came out, and the pivotal part of the game was that 5-minute power play, and it created an opportunity for us to make a dent in the game, and the power play was working. It was clicking as good as it has all years, and that was a critical moment of the game tonight.
Coach, you talk about, and we've been talking about it all night long, getting that first goal is so important, and you guys right now are 15-1-0 when getting that first goal. Do you guys talk about that going into a weekend series or into each individual game?
Every game we talk about it. We talk about having a great start. Statistics will tell you the teams that score first, they win most of those games, so it's very much on our mind. We're very aware of it and try to get off to a great start every game.
Mike, you know you had a committed team coming back after the disappointment in Grand Rapids last March, but did you think in your wildest dreams as you assembled your training camp back in September and early October that you would go into Grand Forks, Minneapolis-St. Paul, Colorado Springs, and come out of it totally unblemished and in a predominant way?
Not at all. There was no way we could imagine that. We had many questions coming back. We felt we had a good core. We're an upperclassman team for the first time, and as I'm learning, that's a big thing in college hockey, in college athletics, even in football, basketball. The teams that seem to do well are upperclassman teams. They've had a lot of experiences. And you talked about our disappointment last year in Grand Rapids, absolutely. And I think you learned from all of those. Going down the stretch last year, we played some tough games in North Dakota, in Duluth. And those experiences are coming back to help us this year.
Coach, there has been some talk about the second half of the season. Obviously, now it's started. You guys started that second half tremendously here this weekend. Past couple of years, you've struggled a little bit. What have you guys done as a coaching staff to make sure that that does not happen this year?
Well, we have learned. I think getting back into the college game again, getting more in tune to college, young college athletes' life, what's going on. And we've changed some things this year. We've changed the way we've trained. That we change our weekly practices to maybe back off a little bit, create a little bit more recreation in our daily practices. And I think those things are all keeping the guys feeling better mentally and physically.
I think we've noticed something, too, in talking with some of your former players in the USA program, Joey Crabb and Brett Sterling, and in particular, they talk about how much you stress the viewing of tape and the preparation for opponents. And I can see unequivocally, because I've seen you play CC 4 times, you're so well prepared for your opponent. How much of that is the video emphasis?
Well, actually, we're trying to get better at that. I think we've cut back. We try to be more intelligent about what we get our kids. We break down tapes as all coaches do, but then it's a matter of how you get that information back to the players, and that becomes the art for them. And I think, you know, I've been in this business 20 years, and I'm thinking I'm just starting to get it now. So I've got lots more to learn and enjoying every moment.
Well, Coach, we talk about defense wins championships, and in defense, you look behind your defenseman, you got #1 goaltender, wearing #1 in Brian Elliott. Talk a little bit about him.
Well, there was big questions about Brian coming in. I think his teammates knew how good he was because they've shot on him for the last 2 years. If it wasn't for the fact that he was playing behind All-American goaltender Baron Brookler, he probably would have played more, but he bid his time. And our players knew how good he was, but then it was the question, how could he play back-to-back, and how would he handle that? He's answered that with exclamation points so far this year.
All right, Mike, congratulations. Terrific weekend here in Colorado Springs. Best of luck next week against the two-time defending national champion DU Pioneers at the Kohl Center.
Thanks very much, gentlemen.
Mike Eaves, head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. They are the #1 team in the nation. They were there without a doubt tonight in Colorado Springs and last night as well. They fought to hold on to a lead last night for a 3-2 victory, scoring 2 power play goals. The next game for Colorado College on television from News 13 will come next Friday night at 6 p.m. live from Mariucci, when the Colorado College Tigers will be taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Stay tuned on ESPNU for Pepperdine and Gonzaga basketball. There's more to come on radio on our post-game show, but for those of you who have been watching tonight on Adelphia 32 and ESPNU, thanks for listening and watching. We'll be in touch with you again in the not-too-distant future. Keep tuned to News 13, Adelphia 32, and ESPNU for the finest in college hockey. Jeff Thomas and Jim Paradise live in Colorado Springs. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
What is seen in Spokane, the sparkling McCarthy Athletic Center, a gem in the Pacific Northwest, home of the Kennel and the nation's 7th-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs. They are led by a preseason All-American and Wooden Award candidate, Adam Morrison. Best venues in all of college basketball. The McCarthy Athletic Center and the Bulldogs welcome the Pepperdine Waves, who are 1-1 in the WCC. Gonzaga 2-0 on this young season, and this venue has been detrimental to the visitors. Gonzaga has the nation's 2nd longest home winning streak. 30 games, they can move into a tie for first place with a victory tonight. We welcome you, Rich Cellini, alongside the coach, Bob Welch. Gonzaga, tough road swing in the Bay Area. If they come out of it 2-0, they're as good as advertised.
They're better than advertised. They have really been sensational. Coming off a very difficult non-conference schedule, they've done everything that people have expected of them and then more.
All right, Coach, you spent nearly 3 decades on the sideline, and I think a night or two you may have been an underdog. What's the recipe for Pepperdine?
Well, I think Pepperdine, first of all, is going to have to shoot it better. They've got to take care of the basketball, but the reality of it is, if Gonzaga brings their A game, this is going to be a difficult night for the Waves.
We take a look at our Star Watch. We have a Wooden Award candidate and a freshman who may be one in a few years.
Garrity, leading scorer as a freshman, but on a team that's still trying to find its identity. Morrison, as good as advertised, brings an added dimension and a special excitement to every game he's in.
Our starting lineup, Deshaun Forehand Kelly, the senior. He and Garrity have really been the only 2 people who have scored recently for Pepperdine. And the man in the middle for Gonzaga, J.P. Batista.
I think he's the most underrated big man in the country. 19 points, 9 rebounds a game. If Morrison doesn't play well, he could be the X factor.
And the other one, Derek Rivio, just walked through in that picture. Those are the big 3 for the Zags. He had a double-double on Monday night, his 4th of the season against Santa Clara. 270 pounds, and I don't know that 1 pound of it is fat. He's lean.
Exactly. And, you know, the key to the thing is They, being Pepperdine, cannot allow this game to get into a situation where they're turning the basketball over and giving Gonzaga any easy baskets.
Batista and Jared Henry, the 6'11 sophomore from Kansas City, to jump on the Bulldog here at the Kennel. Great venue, and they are fired up, and oh, how they love their Bulldogs. On the opening tip, controlled by the Zags. Here's Cespedes on to Rivio.
Well, Pepperdine will start out in their basic man-to-man, and they're going to have some matchup problems, but right away Gonzaga finds a shot for Mallon, and they're on the board.
And Mallon is the fourth option in that offense.
But has played well lately and has really given them another guy that they can go to get points.
Here's Garrity, the freshman, penetrates, has blocked by Mallon, gets his own rebound, blocked again, now controlled by Batista.
Garrity's a tough kid. With experience, he's going to learn he can't take the ball in there, although he is very much a factor when he gets the ball in the lane.
Mallon misses, put back by Morrison.
Well, Westfall has decided to, the matchup which is interesting to me is he's put Chase Griffin, who's 6'2", on Morrison, hoping to deny the ball. But Morrison being able to play inside and out, I just think that that's going to be a tough matchup for Pepperdine.
Good look for Tashawn Forehand Kelly, the senior, and he knocks it down 4-2 early. Morrison, the floater. Does he know the home court?
Well, Morrison, as I said before, when you've got a guy that's 6'2", because he has the ability to take the ball inside and can shoot the three over the outside, I just don't think that's a good matchup, but that's one that Coach Westfall feels comfortable with.
Blocked by Mallison, out of bounds.
Yeah, they're playing right now. Gonzaga is playing at a very, very high level. There was some concern coming back home against a team that does not have a particularly good record. There'd be a little bit of a let-up, but hey, Pepperdine, Gonzaga, big rivalry.
Turnaround is good for Jared Henry, and it's 6-4. We had a shot on the last possession of Mark Few, and Gonzaga, without question, Mallon misses the jumper. The class of this conference, and we talked to him earlier today and said, you know, playing against some lesser competition, he said, you know, the good teams have to step it up and improve as things move on. Cespedes with the kiss in the bucket.
I thought he made a great comment because, as he mentioned at the time, Duke, Connecticut, all those teams in their leagues are getting better. Now, I'm not sure there's another team in the league here that can really play with Gonzaga, but they still have to get better because they've got to be thinking about on down the road in the tournament.
Rivio for three, and he hits, and that ignites this crowd. 11-4.
Westfall's going to have to, I think, take a look here pretty quick at a timeout to settle things down. Crowd's in it. See this very, very good man-to-man.
Garrity answers with the bucket. Morrison quickly down, baseline shot is short. Chase Griffin with the board. Forehand Kelly drops in at three.
Underrated. Second leading scorer and also the leading rebounder. You don't hear his name mentioned much, but he has been a big factor for the Pepperdine, especially from a leadership perspective.
Batista, there's our first look at JP Batista. And they're stirring the wealth.
Well, once again, they elected not to put Henry, who's the post player, on him, and instead Gallic, who they think is much bigger and stronger, and they're going to try to get help off of him. But Batista's a guy that's very smart, gets rid of the ball quickly, and it's hard to double him.
Kelly missed a long one, and you'd made a point earlier, Coach, about Batista, a big man who really plays within himself.
Doesn't try to do things he can't do, and that's going to be a mismatch in there. He's just too big and strong, and like I said, I think one of the most underrated big men because he not only has good court awareness, he has great hands, and he stays within himself and doesn't try to do things he can't do.
15-9.
Buried the ball.
Poked away. Cespedes is going to get ticketed with the foul. Schools not in session yet, but don't tell the folks here tonight cheering on the Bulldogs. Oh, they love them in the Pacific Northwest.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, coming in March.
You all right? Yeah, just an old football injury. Tore my rotator cuff against the Giants in '88. Yeah, got to play hurt though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I burnt my tongue on some lentil soup last night. It really hurts.
Be okay to do the show?
Oh, yeah. I'll suck it up.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning on ESPN Radio.
Here's to the beginning. A chance to carve out a new path. For this time will be different. This is the year we leave our mark. This is the game we play together. This is our season. The colors change, the fires burn, and the possibilities are endless. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
Well, this thing is just about over now. They'll snap the ball, take a knee, and that'll end it. Bills are going to drop this one, and wait a second. The ball is loose. Fisher's got it, and he's got Walker to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Bills! Listen to this place! Holy moly! What? No! They're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The game comes to an end. The Bills lose a heartbreaker.
Lott endured the pain as well as he delivered it, including a story that took on a life of its own.
Ronnie Lott lost a finger during a game, and he just told him, hey, tape it up.
His finger fell off.
I don't think you want to play against a guy who's willing to chop his pinky off.
2 of his fingers cut off. He actually bit off his own finger.
And finally, the true story.
Apparently, Ronnie had a bad finger. Went to the doc. He says, what do I do with this thing? He goes, well, either wrap it up and not play, or I can cut it off, and you can play tomorrow. Ronnie being Ronnie, of course. Cut that sucker off, man, because I've got to play football.
I wouldn't cut my hair. It's like if they said, you got to cut your hair off, like, sorry, I'm out. That to me, that's almost like nuts tough.
Regardless of how many fingers he did it with, Ronnie Lott hit as hard as anyone.
Whoa, what a hit! That's a Ronnie Lott tackle.
Such jarring hits. I always wanted to make sure that my...
Sometimes big guys try to do too much. The ball comes in there and they become a blue hole. It never comes out. And now we see a little change in defense. Out of the timeout, we get a 2-3 matchup. Pepperdine has not shot the ball well this year. In fact, they are shooting very poorly, only 27% from three-point line. They're going to make them shoot the ball in, see if they can score out of the zone.
Griffin with the miss, and I think they get Jared Henry underneath with a hold on Batista, and that's what the call is. David Pendergraft gets the ball to Rivio. First time we've seen the sophomore from Brewster, Washington. Tipped away, down low. Nice steal by Henry.
And not a very good pass. That pass has got to go in low because they're playing Batista up over the right shoulder.
Pass off the hands of Gallick. Turnover. Here's Morrison in the open floor. Down underneath, and the turnaround again. Batista too strong.
Well, Morrison draws so much attention, he opens up other people, but likewise, when the ball goes inside, Batista draws so much attention that it frees things on the perimeter. So you got a guy like Rivio who would benefit from that, shooting step-up jump shots. Just a tough matchup, really, for any team. This little guy here is pretty good, Rich, because he has the ability to get into the lane and create shots not only for himself, but for other people. And Mark Few is really worried about that.
Garrity, long range, 3 off the mark. Tapped out of bounds. It'll be Zaga basketball. Paul Westphal. People remember him as the great NBA player and NBA coach. 5th season now at Pepperdine, has yet pull out a victory against the Bulldogs.
Well, in defense of him and their record this year, he's had a lot of injuries. He's starting to get some guys back, and we're going to find out as the season progresses whether this young, inexperienced team grows into a cohesive unit or whether they continue to have problems. But it's just been, one of those things where he's really had a hard time finding some chemistry with this group.
missed the short one. Rebound by Henry.
Fargo's an interesting story. Came here, and all of a sudden, Rivio gets hurt, goes through a 3-game stretch where he's thrust into a position where he's got to play. But he's really answered the bell.
Move and gets fouled. And go to the line for a pair.
Galic's the one guy that they have physically that's able to really compete inside with Batista, Mallon, the Gonzaga front line. He's got a good knack for the basketball. He's got good skills. He's a big old strong kid. Only a freshman. Great future.
66% from the line. He missed the first one.
Once again, this has been their Achilles heel. It's a team that not only does not shoot the ball well from the field, but only shooting 64% from the free throw line, which, when you're struggling, is not going to win you a lot of games.
Gets one of two, and the Waves are in double digits. Fargo up top. The turnaround is good.
Excellent patience, swung the ball back and forth, not in a hurry, not forcing things. They know they can get the ball inside, so as a result, they're not forcing things on the perimeter, and they're going to benefit from that as people collapse off the perimeter, push off.
Jared Henry, and he got caught. It'll be a turnover, and that's also been part of the problem for Pepperdine. Just 5-9 on the season, but they have played better of late. 4-3 in their last 7 games, but it's tough to turn it over when you don't shoot well.
Well, when you're 80 or 90 turnovers over assists, then and you don't shoot the ball well, you're giving the other team too many opportunities to beat you.
They're Gardenius in the game. Zags, Fargo, Rivio. He's guarded closely by Garrett. He gets the shot off and knocks it down.
What you like about Rivio is you look at his assist-to-turnover ratio, and it's very, very good. It's almost 3-1. But what really makes him so valuable is, sure, he doesn't make the spectacular play, but in trying to do so, he also doesn't make the big mistake. Too much dribbling right now.
Creating it himself, missed the shot. Pendergraft rebounds. Here's Rivio. Danius, move. Too strong. Strum to the ball. Forehand Kelly comes out. And Pepperdine will call a timeout. We'll be back to Spokane. 12-11 left, first half.
Get up front, you're gone. Okay, I got it. Go, go, go!
Here, ball 3 up. Good day, guys. All right, guys, go down the wall. There's the finish. I'm close now. There, you're clear. Be ready. Go, go, go.
Capture the flag. NASCAR returns to Fox.
The best damn sports show, period. Sports Television's nightly party. Weeknights on FSN.
America's favorite home gym is more affordable than ever. Now you can get the all-new Bowflex Extreme.
Well, they're shooting 67% from the field, and when you do that, you're going to win a lot of games. Plus, they're holding Pepperdine to only 33%. Part of the 67% is simply that when you have Batista 4 feet from the basket, putting the ball in the basket, you're going to shoot a very high percentage, which he does anyway. But that just adds to the problem that Pepperdine has. You know, Garrity's an interesting guy, and here we see a little bit of full-court press. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of 1-2-2, try to get the ball out of his hands, but he's very, very clever with the ball.
Forehand Kelly knocks down a 3, and it'll be some outside shooting of that nature that can help keep the Waves in this game.
Same thing here. We get a little zone with a chaser. It looks like a box and one.
Grab too strong. Forehand Kelly with the board.
At that time, we had 4 Pepperdine players playing zone, and we had Garrity chasing around Rivio.
Chris Oakes on the low block for Pepperdine. This is his first action. He got hurt against Wisconsin. Is Garrity able to drive and put in the basket? And they're hoping for big things from number 52. Timeout on the floor. We'll return and a little action and also pride of the program when we come back to the Pacific Northwest.
Thanks, guys.
Hey! That was my car.
Oh, that was your car? Well, this is my parking spot. I park here every day. That's an honest mistake.
You're here to play basketball my way, and my way is hard.
We did not back down, ever!
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
You're gonna put the whole program at risk.
I gave those kids my word.
You wanna shut them up, then win. If there was ever more of a mismatch, I don't remember it.
It's not about talent, it's about heart.
You're 24 hours from the biggest game in college basketball.
You gotta take it.
Glory Road. Rated PG. Directed by James Gardner.
Back at Gonzaga, 21-15, 11:23 remaining in the first half. Now time for ESPNU's pride of the program. In the spotlight, Idaho. It was a season of vandalism. In 1981-82, Idaho lost just 3 games. In the NCAA tournament, an overtime win against Iowa propelled Coach Don Munson's Vandals to the Sweet 16. More of ESPNU's pride of the program features available on mobile ESPN.
Don Munson's usually a big fan here and comes to most of the games. He must be up in Minnesota tonight watching his son play. Otherwise, we would see him here.
His son, who had coached here and was replaced by Mark Few.
And he still follows his program diligently. Little 2-3 zone here by Pepperdine.
Morrison for 3, in and out. Rebound by Gaelic.
Got a couple of stories developing here. We've got Oakes, who's come back from a serious injury. And we also have for Gonzaga, Earl Knight, who's back and they think is really going to help them down the stretch here as they continue their season.
3 is good. Gallick knocks it down, and the long-range shooting makes this one a 3-point game.
Would look like a blowout all of a sudden with substitutions, and Pepperdine getting a little bit of confidence has become a ball game again.
And now they get a turnover. They can tie it with the 3. Gallick can't hit the second one. Rebound by Ganius. Fargo with the floater, got it.
Yeah, different kind of player than Rivio. You know, Fargo's a guy that's going to create, force some things. He's going to make some freshman mistakes, but he also is a guy that can really get big baskets for you in one-on-one situations.
Russell Hicks, turnaround, drops it in, and he had broken a foot back in November, and another of these players that Paul Westphal is trying to work back into game shape.
And Paul Westphal said that he really liked his team, and part of it is he's finally getting them healthy, and he thinks that they're still buying into what he's doing.
Mallon missed the mark. Oakes rebounds.
That was a wide open shot. They're not going to miss many of those.
Garrity to create and dishes, and he'll be called for a player control foul. Mallon had position.
No question on that, and it's interesting that since Batista's been out of the game, Pepperdine's been on a 10-3 run. Here you can see it here, and this is something Garrity does very well, except that as he gains experience and understands a little bit better what he can and can't do, he's going to pull up and either shoot the short jumper or he's going to avoid the charge.
Rivio and Batista back in for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, this against the zone, when Morrison and Rivio are in the game, it makes it very difficult to play zone because both of them shoot the ball so well from three. And Paul Westphal is really upset with that call, and probably rightfully so. There's been a lot more contact than what we just saw there.
Hicks committed the foul, sending Morrison to the line. Also in the game for Gonzaga, number 22, Earl Knight.
Art Few thinks he's going to be a real key guy. He's very, very athletic. And he has come back a little bit sooner than they anticipated, but he gives them a real defensive presence on the perimeter and a high-energy guy.
The nation's leading scorer, Adam Morrison. I think it's fair to say he marches to a different drummer.
Most of the really good ones do.
Nice kid. He knocks down second one, 24-20.
You know, he's one of those kids, too, that I think has a real competitiveness and a little bit of toughness and a little bit of meanness to him that you don't always see. But don't underestimate this guy's ability to play in tough situations. And there's Batista getting his hand on another ball.
Espadezzi on the break, and there's Batista on the other end finishing.
Yeah, that doesn't get any better than that. Big guy running the floor and filling the lane.
And they're going to get Earl Knight with the foul. Knight, the senior from Seattle, who came back off the injury, but he is the WCC's reigning defender of the year.
Well, here we see a very good rotation, good help. Batista gets his hand on the ball, but you can see him running down the floor. Nice job here on the feed, draws the defender, opens up the lane. Batista with an uncontested layup.
Baseline, nowhere to go. He has to turn it over. Here's Knight. Rivio slips inside for the two. Missed it. Morrison can't get the putback. Gets the rebound and draws a whistle on Gallic.
Pepperdine's just not really getting back and sorting things out. And, of course, Gonzaga is very, very good in open floor. But here, this is a mismatch in there. Henry doesn't rotate back and get the block out. Now we've got Morrison on the glass, and he's so skilled and so smart that he's going to get the foul. And in most cases, he's probably going to get that ball in and around the basket.
Averages 6 rebounds a night. Generally a pretty good free throw shooter. He's having his difficulties tonight. Cody Horning in for the Waves. 6 points, 4 rebounds for Adam Morrison. 7-point Bulldog lead for the 7th-ranked team in the country. Forehand Kelly with the glass and the bucket.
Gonzaga switches position players, meaning they switch their perimeter guys and they also switch their inside guys. But when you have a guy that's long, like Kelly is, it's a tough switch, and he just shot the ball on Rivio. But Gonzaga on the other end, wide open three, and they're going to make those.
Pierre-Marie Altidore Cespedes.
Now that we've done that, I'm just going to call him T-Mac for the rest of the game because I think it's going to be a lot easier and less embarrassing for me.
Horning tried to make a pass through a few too many hands, and the scrum for the ball and step on the line. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Gonzaga basketball. 7:03 remaining first half. The sophomore from Montreal, all the way from Canada, knocks down the three.
There's an accident in this country every 5 seconds. Allstate thinks that's too often. So they have new rewards to encourage you to drive safely. Now, for each year you go without having one of these, you'll get $100 off your deductible. Introducing Deductible Rewards. It's time to make the world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
ESPNU celebrates Martin Luther King Day with a full slate of HBCU basketball. It all starts at noon with Alcorn State versus Arkansas Pine Bluff. The ladies bring it home at 10 with Delaware State versus Maryland Eastern Shore. A day of HBCU hoops, Monday on ESPNU.
The alerts and breaking news you want, only on mobile ESPN. Would you intentionally crash your car or submerge it underwater while still inside? This guy does, because he's the crash test human. Break down the science of safety behind the wheel with the one man who'll risk his life to get the answers. Real situations, real danger, real science. Crash Test Human, world premiere, Monday at 10 on the National Geographic Channel. Dare to explore. Available on Channel 276.
The all-new guide on DirecTV is here. Now with colorful sections geared to what you care about most. Sports, movies, and more. Get On DirecTV magazine for just $2.99 a month. That's 25% off the regular monthly price of $3.99. On DirecTV makes you the ultimate insider with all the buzz on your favorite shows, Hollywood stars, and the latest technologies. On DirecTV. Now just $2.99 a month for the first year. Order now by calling 1-866-591-5556.